What's going on? Thank you for tuning in to the Stimulus Podcast. This is episode 6. Thank you for coming all this way. Hopefully, if you've been watching the episodes previous to this, but this is episode 6. The date of as of today is June 7th, 2020. My name is Blue Skittles, aka Duran Shields, aka Melody, aka what else? That's another one I think I got. Anyway, but I'm co-host of the Stimulus Podcast. I'm gonna let my co-host introduce himself first, and then we got a special guest in the house as well as our visual watchers can see. And our audio listeners, we do have a guest in the building. But go ahead, my co-host, and introduce yourself.
Yeah, what's good, world? It's your boy Vision, VYSON, like sight, Vision of Great. I'm just here for another podcast on a beautiful day. Thankful to be alive.
It is nice out. It is nice.
It is very nice.
And our special guest, go ahead, Mister. Go ahead,
Mr. Jenkins,
Mister,
aka Mr. Jenkins, aka Jenkins.
Okay.
Okay.
Out there. Thank you
Okay.
for letting me come through.
For sure.
And bless y'all. I ain't got no more AKAs. I ain't even know.
That's what's up though. You had some prepared, so that's all that matters.
Sure. I remember when, in middle school where everybody had 20 AKAs,
yeah, it was more of a thing.
And then it was BKA, better known as
Fat Man.
Yeah.
Lysol.
Right. Kobe Fro.
Oh, you do got that.
Kobe Fro. You got that. You got that. You got that.
Yeah.
He got that Jersey bite.
Yeah, when that nigga was windmilling on people.
But yeah, this is the 6th episode of the Stimulus Podcast. Thank you for tuning in once again. Before we even get into the icebreaker, which is where we're going, but before we even get into that, I do want to let everybody know that if you want to donate and help this podcast continue to get better and continue to get more polished and whatever our presentation to get better, you can go to the Cash App under $, the Stimulus Podcast, all one word. And you can donate whatever you might want to donate. We've been receiving some support through this whole time, and it's definitely been helping. It's helping us get ready to buy some new equipment and stuff like that to make this better. That's exactly what we're putting into it. Is just going right back into the podcast. So if you want to donate, once again, is $, the Stimulus Podcast, all one word on Cash App. If you're listening, that's for you, and then also the people that are watching have it on the screen. But we're gonna get into the icebreaker. I didn't even make a banner for the icebreaker, but I'm gonna leave the Cash App up for right now. But our icebreaker today is gonna be Would You Rather. And like I said, remember the two numbers I told y'all to remember?
Yeah, 23, 27.
Got it. Okay, so we'll start with 27 and we see how long we last on this one. Would you rather move to a new city or town every week, or never be able to leave the city or town you were born in? So would you rather move to a new city every town, or would you rather move to a new city or town every week, or never be able to leave the city or town you were born in?
Now when they say leave, do they mean I can't ever just step foot out, or does mean I can't move out?
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to leave. You would be stuck in sanctioned in your own town. That's it.
Oh, I don't want to move to this. I don't want to give me the first one.
Yeah, the move every day. Move.
I don't want to stay
every week.
Every week. So you spend a week. You never really. But then think about family, relationships, and stuff like that. Every week you got to go.
That is crazy though. But it'd be you'll never be able to leave. You be in a bubble.
Yeah, you're dang. Y'all in Burden? Oh man, dang. If I was in Florida, I would
have. But if you move to a different city every week, can you leave that city within the week to go visit, or are you stuck there in that city as well until that week?
It doesn't specify. That always happens with Would You Rather because it's so hypothetical. But it does not specify whether or not I'm saying you actually can't leave if you move in every week. I think that side is based on always moving. So I think you'll be able to free roam, but you got to go to another kind of uproot and go to another place in a week. You can probably move on while you're there though.
It's like being a truck driver for the rest of your life, or
basically
having a job in the city for the rest of your life. So
But you can't leave
That's
out the
the
city
case.
though. You can't go on vacations. You can't do none of that.
Yeah,
You
it
gotta
just
stay in there. I think
You
I
could be a hell of a
agree.
tour guide though.
Huh?
you would know everything about that city.
You
You would know everything. It's like, nigga, I've been trying to get out of here my whole life.
Right. It was like, you see this brick right here?
Yeah.
This brick was made in 1939.
Now, if you look close, you can see the inscription of the brick from the Masons. Like you'd just be
I saw Peter Johnson get beat with this brick right here.
yeah. The great.
But then again, it would depend on what city you was born in too.
Yeah, you could be born in a dope city, and it'll just be like,
That's
oh,
true.
I'm born in Chicago, so I just be in Chicago all the time.
Or like Los Angeles or something like that.
Okay,
Here, though,
but so what's my answer? Okay, what's my answer? And we just give our answers. So it's move every week, or I was
right.
Well,
That was a good one.
Because I mean, I'm thinking like, you know, like I'll be able to, I guess, if I have the money or the means to be able to move every week, I'm assuming I got some kind of money or something. But it's not even saying that. But I'm like, I guess we're gonna be a traveling family. Me and my girl, we gonna be, you know, we just travel all the time. Like maybe we can maybe we can like choose our destination. So maybe if you want to come back to Flint or something like that, we can come back, but we just got to leave within a week, and then we can come back in like 2 weeks. I just probably play it like that. I wouldn't want to be like if it, because I mean I don't know. I think we all was born in Flint, wasn't?
Yeah.
So like we all would be here forever. Here forever. Like it would. But the thing is, this is the other side of it. It would definitely, if you had to stay here forever, it would definitely probably change your mindset about like you know, uplifting Flint and kind of revitalizing Flint, because it's like, this is all I got. I can't go nowhere.
Yeah,
right. I gotta be here, so we might as well make this shit look nice.
And the crazy part is that's like in some ways that's a lot of people's kind of reality, or at least their mindset. Like, I can't leave. This is all I got to look forward to. They might not feel like they got skills to do nothing or whatever. But so yeah, I think I would go with the traveling every week.
That'll be my answer too. Because even still, like, I would just, if I wanted to stay around here for a minute, I just move from Flint to Burton to Grand Blanc to Flushing. Like,
right.
I just
Flint though.
Huh?
Well, is it Genesee County, or
it says a city or town?
Every city, didn't it?
Yeah, city or town. Yeah,
city or town. You see, yeah, that's covered then.
So yeah, it. I would definitely pick. What about you, Juliana? What would you pick? Got him stumped.
I move.
You move? Okay, so everybody moving. Everybody is on that truck driver life.
I hate being stuck. Like,
yeah,
right there.
Yeah, just being boxed in.
Yeah, I'll be out.
Let's just do one more, and that'll be the end of the icebreaker. I said that was 20. That was 27. So let's go to 23. 23. Would you rather be forced to dance every time you heard music, or be forced to sing along every time you heard, you know, a song?
Dance.
Yeah, you used to be in the DMV dancing to like jazz music and like, you know, elevator music. I think so. Dance every time you hear music, or have to sing along anytime you hear music. Basically, yeah, because like you can be kind of somewhat incognito, like kind of dancing. Like,
yeah, you could.
I mean, you can do it, but you can sing under your breath though.
That's true.
So you singing along, but it's just like you're kind of humming. I might go with the singing though, because that way,
I don't know every word to every song. That's why I wouldn't say singing, but
it would just make you would just have like, I guess you'd be forced to, so you had to sing whatever you thought.
Right.
It's as if you would know the words to the song, or even if it was an instrumental, then you would just kill the instrumental.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Or dance
I would sing. I would sing because I think it's like singing is physically hide. You can hide it physically. So I could do like from a distance. I don't look like I'm doing nothing. I might just be on the phone or something, but I'm actually singing, and I'm singing low. So like, unless you ride up on me, you can't even hear what I'm saying. So I might just look crazy singing along to something, to whatever. But
What if you in a meeting, right?
oh, and well, but the thing is,
music come on.
Yeah.
like somebody's phone ringtone come on. It's like a whole real ringtone, and, and it's like the hoodest song ever, and you gotta sing along to it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a real hood song that will come on in the meeting.
Sunny baby.
Some mystical. You like mystical, don't you, Giuliano? Some mystical come on. You gotta like.
Boy. And right here, as you can see, the graph over here, it's I fuck you on the floor, still shake the chandelier. Right?
He said something
fast.
Right.
I think I would rather dance. Even though
so?
I know I ain't got the juice.
He's gonna be.
Juice, though, that's the thing. You got enough time to get the juice. You be dancing every day.
Every time you hear music, you gotta dance. You get a lot of practice.
Right.
I think I would dance because, like, I would still like, even if I was in that situation to where I was in a meeting or a press conference, like I'd be behind the podium just getting it, but I could still, go through the memo and whatnot. I could still do what I got to do.
Yeah, I think I would do the same. What'd you say, Richard?
Dancing.
Okay, so we all okay.
Because just thinking about what he just said made me think about it even more. Like if you was in the presentation or something like that, and say like you had like some music with your presentation, you couldn't give it, you was singing, but you gotta give it when you was dancing. Like you was like, all right, everybody, get it.
Like having
in the presentation.
Like figure one, you got.
It's like a disco ball drop from the ceiling.
Figure two, you got.
Yeah,
that's like having like Tourette's.
Yeah, you can't help yourself. Okay, well that'll be our icebreaker. Would you rather? And what y'all watching this comment? Would you rather? What was it? Move every week, or only be able to stay in the city that you were born in, and then also, would you rather? What was it? What we just did?
Dance every time you hear music, or sing every time you hear music.
Yeah. So, would you rather have to dance, be forced to dance every time you hear music, or be forced to sing along every time you hear music? Comment in the comment section and all that stuff. Also, subscribe to the channel on YouTube and
like it up.
Yeah, like hit the likes on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff. Follow us on Twitter. We post on everything, so yeah, I try to put something on. No matter where you follow us at, we got something that we've given that audience. So, but we're gonna jump into the more serious stuff that's going on. We got coronavirus. It is 2020 after all. So I didn't type out these banners. I was looking at all these articles and stuff, but I'm gonna bring the would you rather thing down. But
man, ain't y'all so sick of the Rona though? Like,
yeah, it's
I'm
like
already
she didn't got cut. Well, see, the thing is, a lot of people have been distracted, I think, by the all the protesting and all that stuff. I think that since they are distracted by it, they haven't been thinking about coronavirus. So I think that's, but I want to talk about that too. But I'm gonna type out this thing and then we're gonna get into this segment because I'm using the banners as like little visual markers as to where like each segment is for when I edit it. So this little conversation might be edited out. Let me see. Banners. I need to do a new banner. Oh, here we go. Miscellaneous banners. And I want to call it COVID 19.1.
COVID 19.1.
Because all right. So the first topic I want to get into is basically coronavirus. Of course, we all know about coronavirus, it being 2020 and it having affected most businesses that we've either work at or frequent on a regular basis. But in light of all the police brutality protests taking place across the whole United States, each state has had sightings of protests. In light of all that, a lot of people have been gathering around each other and a lot of people have been ignoring the whole social distancing guidelines and stuff. States are also starting to like Michigan is starting to lift things. As of tomorrow, June 8th, they will I think dine-in restaurants will be able to seat people now in a limited capacity. So things are opening back up, but
What
there's
about the barbershop?
I think that's coming. I think that's coming with the salons and spas and all that coming. That's coming like either on the 8th or like on the 12th or something like that. But
Oh,
that's
holla at me.
coming.
I got you if you need that. I'll hit you with the.
Oh, you got the you nice with the blades, the barber.
Uh-huh.
You ain't got no whip game.
I'm gonna get nice. You see that wrist,
Look at
nigga?
look
See
at
that
the
wrist?
look at the look
That's
at the look at the
that's a blending motion, nigga. Right now, I'm blending you.
But those are coming open. A lot of stuff is starting to open up again. And even before all the police brutality protests, experts were warning us that a second wave was probably going to come in the fall. But this happened, after that prediction. So it's only going to kind of jumpstart. And logically, I think, and that's what it's saying. I want to get us into is, whether these protests will kind of backfire.
Spike it.
Yeah, backfire, and I've been seeing headlines saying that, like, numbers are going up. Let me see if I can play a little bit of this at least. But it is fear. You see how this says fear of second wave is as countries ease lockdowns. Let me see.
Like this lockdown, but we have to do it. Like there are two important aspects to be considered. One of the things that I would really like to emphasize is that until the infrastructure for mass testing and contact tracing is not in place, it would be too risky to put these draconian measures that have been put in place aside, because that would turn out to be leading into a second phase.
Where you got one with closed caption?
Well,
It's hard to understand. I
yeah,
want to find
I'm trying to hold myself together, bro.
You cannot let go of the measures because of the. Yeah, it's like accents are real. Accents, them boys, and that's some of the ones that's hardest
Thick.
to decipher too. Is the Indian, like when they got
Yeah, man.
the
The
thick
Indian
Indian accent,
accents be so thick. Like, what are you even saying, bro?
like that.
What?
The average Indian accent is pretty thick. So like,
It is. It's
and
like the older the Indian person, the stronger and the thicker their accent is gonna be. Like,
yeah, but we digress. So
we do.
basically, we're talking about the fact that I'm gonna move this off the screen, but the fact that us doing all these protests and stuff, I got us like in droves in the streets, and it's thousands and hundreds. Y'all see all these helicopter shots, and it's like thousands of people either looting or rioting and protesting, marching. And it's just going. It's like a complete contradiction to all the social distancing guidelines and stuff that we've been being taught over the last 3 months. And it just makes sense that it would spark the second wave.
Right.
So it's like
You
Go ahead.
also have people in office who have been telling us to, stay safe, stay quarantined, social distance, stuff like that. And then you have a governor in Michigan, I would say set person, who was out protesting and bumping elbows. You feel me, with people whom I guess there's a time and a place to like overlook set dangers and go for what you believe in. But if you telling everybody to stay at home and stay safe, and you out protesting with people and not sticking to what you were saying, that's, I don't know, you're trying to give hope to the people, and yet you out there doing what you doing. How are you gonna go back and say, yeah, I know I was out there doing the thing with y'all, but I'm gonna need y'all to stay at the crib though and stay safe and try not to have any cookouts.
Yeah, I was talking to some coworkers about the fact that the people like they act like only one thing can be a threat at a time. Like only one enemy can be at us at a time. Like yes, we have police brutality, and we've had that for a while, but we also have coronavirus, and coronavirus didn't say, "Oh, go ahead, police brutality." you can do your thing for a little while. I'm gonna just go and get some rest. No, like it's still here. It's still an
Still here.
actual thing, and
Right.
we just turned our gaze. We averted our gaze to a different threat, and just left turned our back to another one. I feel like, and that's why I haven't been out. I haven't really been out to these protests and demonstrations and marches and stuff like that, because as much as I want to, because I know I want to talk about this too. Like this is no doubt like historic. This is gonna be in the newest history books. 2020 will be in the newest history books as like it's they might wait until like it's over with to like document it from top to bottom, but like it's history for sure. Um First time most people alive have even seen anything like this. So um how stupid of us to turn our back to that kind of a threat, like a historic threat.
It's crazy. I like you said. That's the same reason why not out protesting, not walking with everybody. I drove past some protesters the other day, honked my horn for all of them. You know what I'm saying? And so let them know that I'm with them, but I'm not with y'all. I can't be out here like, cause
Yeah.
Corona is definitely real. Like, you know what I'm saying? If I get I get the protest, I get every what I'm saying, reason why people are doing it. Like I was saying the other episode, I don't feel like that we are doing it in the correct way or the way that it'll bring about change. I feel like the best way to protest and to like,
Hold on for a second. It's kind of like something that's like crack crack crack, like it's like
oh yeah, I
tapping.
hear it sound like somebody typing like.
Yeah. Um Let me see if I keep on talking. I want to see if I hit. I think it's like me coming through like somebody's speakers or something like that. Like and then it's coming back through your mic as well. Like it's coming out of your speakers and into your mic. And um, let me see. I'm gonna just keep talking and see if it come through anymore. Check, 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 check. 1, 2. Right now, okay. Right now it seems like it's fine. I don't hear nothing else.
Okay.
Okay.
Must
It
be
was
me.
Mr. Jenkins.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I want you to jump in, and I'm gonna just try to remember these spots well to edit, but
Oh, okay,
um
what I was saying about
the proper way to protest.
protesting and stuff. Oh yeah, okay. Like I said, like I agree with why they're protesting and all of that. But like I said in the other episode, I feel like we're protesting wrong. I feel like in order to get your voice heard or whatever, I feel like you need to hit the money, man. Like, because
Yeah.
us protesting in the street is not, I mean, it's doing something, like you see us, but like you got to think about how long people have been doing that particular type of protest. Like people have been in the streets doing basically like parades. To me, that's what they are. Like,
Yeah.
they're protests, but it's a parade. Um,
Yeah.
but I feel like to make an effective protest, you hit the money. So everybody in agreement. If you working with somebody in an office or whatever, all of y'all come together and be like, "We're not coming to work tomorrow," or if for the whole week for that matter, and we're gonna
Yeah.
let it be known that this is what it's for. This is what we standing up against, even police or whatever. And then maybe you can have your parade. You know what I'm saying, to show like, okay, we all on one accord. This is why we've been doing this. This is why we shut the whole city down. Ain't nobody going to work. Or what I'm saying, if I was a boss or a manager or something, I'd be like, hey, we taking this amount of time off or whatever. I feel like the most effective way to get seen and be heard is to cut the money off, because that's what everybody, that dollar behind you, that's what everybody's tripping over.
Yeah. And last week I mentioned I was like kind of making an analogy, or like I was pointing out the fact that the movie that I was talking about made an analogy. I meant to say A Bug's Life, but I said ants. Just because I got
Oh,
it
and
confused. Yeah.
A Bug's
But
Life was my movie. I love that movie.
yeah, so A Bug's Life, it says, it came out in 1998, from the 90s. But basically I was talking about how like they got the ants and the grasshoppers mainly in this movie. And then
Mm-hmm.
Flick or whatever, the main character ant, he gets these friends like almost like in a circus. And they kind of rally together and they get all the ants together and like all these different little like insects rally against the grasshoppers. And I'm like, this is a kids movie, and I was talking about how this is a kids movie, but it has like this messaging of like the grasshoppers had conversations in there, like knowingly, like, hey, we don't even outnumber them. They can overpower us if they wanted to, but we got to keep keep their minds off of that. That's like I said, that's basically like they had them like slaves. They had them like working for them and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just kind of revolted, like the the ants and the other insects like just revolted against the grasshoppers. And that's basically, I feel like that's exactly what needs to happen. That's how you that's it's like a perfect analogy or metaphor analogy for like government or like police versus like civilians. Um
Mm.
and It's like that power of authority with the police, but it's fewer of them. So if we really wanted to like make some things happen and make some changes happen, we have way more power to do it because we represent the majority. So
Yeah.
we could, if we got enough of us to be in the same page and do one thing, like it could be literally just one thing, like as far as just not going to work. If everybody just decided, no, today I'm not going to work, then that kind of thing is like it can't help but to gain like a lot of attention, because now that whatever that company is, they are seeing profits fall and stuff. They can't they not everybody can make it out of a financial depression, not every business. So
Right.
businesses can't really afford to lose all their workers. But it's like, I think it's it's important to like kind of target the correct, hold on, I'm about to mute him. Target the correct businesses as far as like you know I think we need to target our like aggression and our pain and our what I'm saying, desire for change and all that stuff. Target that toward like a specific goal, like have like a real
Yeah.
written out goal, like what, like that you can quote, and like
Yeah.
everybody's quoting the same thing. um
That's why I say, like, I feel like, I mean, everybody, it's okay for you to feel pain, for you to feel like, indifferent about this situation, but I feel like that we're going about it wrong. I feel like everybody is like basically acting off of emotion. It's like when you get angry and you just say something that you may not necessarily mean, or whatever the case. It's like we're not really like logically going through it and being like, okay, this is what the objective is, and this is how we're going to meet it. And this is like little in between marks. You know what I'm saying, that we're gonna meet in between us and our objective, our end goal. I just feel
yeah,
like if we were, logical about it, I think that we could shut it down. Because, like you said, we are the majority, and a lot of people don't really realize that, like, the powers that be are only really the powers that be because we allow it, or because we're fearful of the repercussions of standing up and standing out. Like, I think
yeah,
that's the only thing that's getting people from really, coming together and joining. Is like, it's fear. Everybody afraid of something, whether it's afraid of losing your life, afraid of losing your job, or whatever, your
yeah.
image.
You I think that it's we have this setup of basically like shepherds and sheep. Like they keeping this in here, like the up, don't go over there, like that kind of like a thing. And it's like, hey man, like you just another sheep. It's like a
Right,
sheep that's being the shepherd for other sheep. It's like, you a sheep
right.
too. What are you doing?
Like, nigga, you in
Um,
here too?
yeah.
I'm trying to be a sheep.
Yeah, like, so I think that's the flaw of our like system, is that it's set up for us to be herded and for us to be like what I'm saying, like controlled and just bossed around. It's not really set up for us to have any kind of input, or like they don't even put, like, a lot of times, officers that look like the people that they're patrolling in these areas. Like they'll put a white, like, kind of like military type, military history type officer in like Atlanta, like when it's black, like all kind of
Right.
black people. And then now he got this this ultimate like patriotism, because he's from the military and he's a white man. And what I'm saying, like, and I think that, like, I'm certain that it can be true that a person can be in the military and fight with black people, but then come home and in the context of just like regular society, like, kind of be racist. I think you could, like,
Hell
you can
yeah.
you can bond,
Woo! Where?
yeah, you could bond,
Like,
you can form a bond with a black person through just like battle, like almost like a mutual trauma type of thing.
yeah.
But sometimes you can still go back and have like these negative feelings toward black people just because they're black.
Mhm.
That don't just because I think you fall alongside somebody, it don't always make you think different about people that look like them.
Right.
It might make you think different about them, but not necessarily everybody that looks like them. So I think we do have to like kind of like the police got to be more like, you know what I'm saying, like parts of the community. If they want like at this point, the police probably have one of the worst like approval ratings that they had one in history of police. It's like it's super hard. I would not want to be a cop right now. Like
The crazy thing is that I wanted to be a cop coming up.
yeah,
But looking at the median and all that stuff, what they get paid wasn't enough for me to risk my life and put it on the line.
oh yeah, I gotta remember that. So like I want to do unpopular opinions later on in the episode, and that is linked to one of my popular opinions, but about pay. But yeah, go
Another
ahead.
thing, I think they should, because you can be a cop within 9 months, at least 9 months. You can go out there in the field, have a gun, be certified, be badged up, everything within 9 months. I think that's
Yeah,
wild.
it is kind of wild.
When all these other like you don't even need no diploma or anything like that.
That is crazy. Like what?
I think they need more schooling also to learn the laws, because you in 9 months you ain't gonna know all the laws. You know what I'm saying? Like watching some of these videos of people of cops getting trumped because they don't know their laws. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like in this site in this 68 D, you know, it says right here that go get your supervisor. I bet you he'll prove you wrong type stuff. They needed at least 4 years, you know what I'm saying, to go out there. And even with that 4 years, then you need field training even before you get a gun. Because it's like that's the first thing they go to if there's a threat. Oh, I'm gonna reach for my gun.
Like,
Yeah,
like if I don't have a gun, why should you pull your gun out on me?
right.
Yeah.
If I don't have a weapon, why should you pull a weapon out on me? If I got a stick, go ahead and bring that baton out. You know what I'm saying?
It's because you are the weapon, nigga. Like, I mean, excuse me for being so abrasive when I
nigga.
You are the weapon. Like you being yourself, being you. And even though I know you on a personal level, and I know that you saying you wouldn't hurt really a fly unless it was trying to hurt you. But to them, looking at you skin tone, you got a fro too. Nigga, what you trying to be? Marcus Garvey? You trying to be like
one of these militant niggas?
I gotta take him out. And he got on black too. Nah, man. I got
right.
Where's my gun?
But I want to still on the topic of COVID 19.1 as I'm kind of coining it. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that there's going to be a second wave? Like talking to some of my coworkers. Yes. So like this is another perspective I can give on this. So one of my jobs I haven't been working at because it was in a mall and they just reopened. Yeah, I got 2 jobs.
Okay.
And they weren't open because of they were shut down because of the coronavirus and all that stuff. And we just reopened on Friday. And I've had to tell people like coming, through the mall that's coming into our store, hey, do you have a mask? I'm sorry, we can't serve you if you don't have a mask. This is because of like, I'm saying, state regulations and all that stuff. Like state, like federally, I think it's like federally enforced, like or state enforced. You're supposed to be wearing a mask like everywhere, any kind of public place. And so like the fact that I got to tell people that as they're coming into our place, our shop in the mall, that and some of them are having it in their hand and they hadn't put it on yet, and they, oh my bad, or some of them be like, oh I forgot to bring one. Like, how do you forget to bring one when you got a constant reminder by looking at every single other person other than you?
Right.
Like everybody got masks on, so you would just instantly be reminded every time you look at anybody. But the fact that I have to do that, I've had to, it's been like a handful each day. I feel like people not taking it seriously enough still. Like I think people are like still on that, like, you can't tell us what to do. I ain't never had to do this before type of stuff. And they just not wearing the mask and they have a mask on, but it's be like down here when they want to come talk to you, they want to pull it down. I'm like, no, you got to keep your mask up. That's the point of having the mask. So what do y'all think? Do y'all think it's going to be a second wave? How soon do y'all think what do y'all think?
I believe it's going to be a second wave. It'll probably come quick with all this protesting and stuff like that. Probably as soon as July hit. To back up what you was
freaking mind.
to back up what you was talking about with the masks, those little surgical masks, like that's not even meant, like that's like meant to like stop blood and all the other stuff from getting in. Like people wearing bandanas and stuff like that, like that's not really protection. You know what I'm saying? Like go ahead, go out. What is it? What is it? Good food, not cheap. Cheap food, not good. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So if you
Okay, I
want
like that.
to,
Yeah. Hey.
Good food, not cheap. And cheap food, not good.
if you want to go ahead and get you a mask with all this pandemic going on, go ahead and get you a $50-$60 mask to, protect yourself.
Yeah.
That's what I got. I mean, they could have upcharged it, with this whole pandemic and stuff going on, but hey,
Yeah.
they got my money, I got my protection. I'm good. I can breathe. That we got to wear it at work for 8 hours a day.
Okay.
I'm cool with it. They gave us this little pea shooter or whatnot. This ain't
Hold on.
doing
I'm
nothing for
gonna bring you.
me.
I'm gonna bring you. Let me see. Well, show it
Okay,
again.
yeah. Show us that thing now.
Show it the
Oh
mask.
yeah, this little
Oh
cloth
yeah.
linen
Yeah, and
linen
that's the
thing
kind
that
that's going.
ain't
That's the kind
that ain't
that's
protecting
most likely to
nothing.
go around too right now.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
that
make
ain't
you the
protecting
biggest one.
nothing. If I had, I think my other mask is in the car, but um, spend your little money. Good food, not cheap. And
Cheap
you
food,
wonder
not good.
why. Yeah, man, yeah. But yeah, I think I do think there's going to be a second wave. I have an unpopular opinion as well, but I'm gonna save
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah. Say
But
that.
um, I do think there is going to be another big uproar about it.
Okay, and then Vision. What you think about? Y'all say like y'all think around July.
Hell yes and yes.
Okay.
I feel like we definitely will have a resurgence of this fucking virus. I feel like though, I feel like that it will probably come around in like July or maybe even like late June. Just because of like how everybody is gathering now and like
Yeah.
they're breaking like, you know what I'm saying, or they're loosening restrictions as far as like, okay, you just said on the 8th here we were able to go out and dine and stuff like that. And I still don't feel like it's safe enough for everybody to, be mingling and stuff like that. I feel like it wouldn't have spread, especially as fast here, if all of the states were on one accord.
Yeah.
It's like if I'm shut down and you open it up, it's just like how everybody from here seeming like they went to Atlanta, and I'm like, why? For what? What?
Yeah.
Like, why are you going what I'm saying, somewhere else that's like that was just in the what I'm saying, in the
Oh, you
same
mean
situation that
going
you
there
were.
now?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
I
like
didn't know that.
from like from the time that they had reopened up to like, I mean, still now like I hear about people, coming back from Atlanta or planning to go to Atlanta.
Yeah, because
It's just like,
I believe Atlanta opened up like May 1st.
yeah.
Like most of their stuff. I found this video. I'm gonna pull it up for us.
The scientists believe a new strain of the original coronavirus in China is now dominant across the world. They say it's more contagious than the early versions and may make more people vulnerable to a second infection. The research finds it appeared in February in Europe. Italy was one of the first countries to see the new virus. Then the state of Washington was among the first states in the U.S. to get hit with the original strain by late February. But by March, the mutated strain dominated. New York was hit by the original virus in March, and within days, a mutated strain took over. The team did not report results for California.
This is an RNA virus and it mutates fairly rapidly.
Dr. Jane C. Burns, director of the Kawasaki Disease Clinic at Rady Children's Hospital and at UC San Diego, says researchers are trying to identify which new strain came from which location.
Perhaps we have a different strain of the coronavirus here, that ours is more the Asian strain. And on the East Coast, based on sequence data, it's the Italian strain.
Dr. Montefiore says the mutation has been identified in the spikes of the exterior of coronavirus, which allow it to enter human respiratory cells.
That's how it attaches to cells and gets into cells.
He says if you were already infected with COVID-19, that's the spot where your antibodies would block the virus from infecting you again. But with this mutation, your immune response might not be strong enough. If the virus spread doesn't decrease in hotter weather, the study says the virus could undergo more mutations, which could drastically impact treatment.
We're concerned that the mutation in this new form of the virus will be a problem for the current vaccines.
So, y'all heard all that, right?
Yeah.
So, like I said, COVID 19.1. This is like an update, a mutation of the original, and they're saying like if you had an immunity to the original version, the Asian version, this new version that's kind of like the Italian version is hitting the East Coast now. So it's like it ain't over, and I guess we can kind of just go. We was already talking about like some of the police stuff, and so we can go all the way into that part though. Talk about the protests that started with in due to George Floyd's murder or whatever. And I guess like the update on that stuff. So we was talking about the $20 bill. That's why I had a $20 bill behind me right now, because all of it was started over an allegedly fake $20 bill that they said George Floyd used. But we talked about how like his brother's also Steven Jackson, and Steven Jackson posted a video saying that he had just given him a few bags of clothes, and I'm assuming he would give him some money. It's his brother, it's his twin. So like like he probably would have gave him some money, not just clothes. So the fact that they're saying that he would have used a $20 bill that was fake is like, I don't understand the reason why he would have had to.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Another thing that sort of trips me out about that video is when the ambulance pulled up, there was no EMT people that hopped out the back of it.
Yeah, they kind of they took forever too. Like they was real like kind of slow about it.
Yeah, but they were all in police uniforms. Now I don't know too much about people driving ambulances and who's supposed to hop out of that, but not one EMT person came out. Aren't you supposed to check the victim before you know what I'm saying, put them in the stretcher and put them in, or get the little IV bag and try something?
Yeah,
It just went straight to the stretcher, into the ambulance. Now, I had a friend of mine say that none of the cars there had license plates on them.
In the video?
Yeah, like none of the police vehicles. This whole thing is trippy, man. It's trippy.
I haven't seen the video. Like, I've only watched. I've only seen like the picture of the officer on with his knee on his neck. But like, you know what I'm saying? I'm so over watching that stuff. Like I'm over watching.
I only watched it. I only watched it one time. I treated it with the Passion of the Christ. I can only watch that movie one time, and that's it.
Yeah,
that little hell motherfucker scared me in that movie.
Who?
But that's off topic though.
These are the spirit.
The little devil in Passion of Christ. The little pale motherfucker.
That is a movie.
Baby.
Yeah, that is a movie that like is like, who was going back to watch that again? Like, I mean, sometimes people do it.
Movie.
Sometimes people do it on like when it's like a certain day, like it was Easter or something like that. People will play it.
I've rewatched it, but it's not something I'm like. It's in the playlist, like it's in the rotation.
Yeah, it's like torture, like. But yeah, as far as the video, like the police brutality videos, I don't like to watch them either. I watch them. Nowadays, I definitely tend to watch them if for anything, only for like being able to accurately talk about it, like knowing that I saw it, all the details of it and stuff like that. But outside of that, I don't like to see them. Some of them I just won't watch if I know it's like a certain like level of like violence or gore or kind of graphic violence. I don't like to watch it. But it of course most of the riots, and then like I said, they I think I got some of my saved stuff pulled up, so I'm gonna just go ahead and share my screen again. But they say that they're saying that in every single state there's been sightings of protests. So like
Even
all
across
50
the country,
states,
like
all
across the world too, like London.
yeah. I
They
was
protesting over there.
I got here you go right here. Speaking
They was
of
protesting for this cause.
Yeah,
yeah, for
yeah.
George Floyd, yeah, like it's been going on
Wow.
the entire world. So speaking of though, I got this article in Paris. Um, even in Paris, they out here protesting, and people they defied the ban that they had going on in Paris. I think it was a ban on like being out. Thousands defy ban in Paris to protest as George Floyd outrage goes global. And this is just like this probably recent. This is just on the second. That's like 5 days ago. Tear gas choked Paris streets as riot police faced off with protesters setting fires Tuesday amid growing global outrage over George Floyd's death in the United States, racial injustice, and heavy-handed police tactics around the world. I this is it's the entire world is being affected. And a lot of people, a lot of countries are like kind of jumping on board. But I do want to talk about the other side of some of this because a lot of companies like Spotify and Apple, Nickelodeon even came out and made statements.
Activision.
Yeah, they made these little statements and stuff, and it was just basically saying we stand in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement and all that. It's basically that's the gist of what they were saying. That everybody that was saying that, and it's like it. I don't know if we should even be thinking about it right now, but like part of me can't help but to think, like, is that just like them trying to be on the right side of history after all this is all over?
Yep.
You can't help but to assume that some of them that is their play. Like they see what happens when you don't back the right the right cause. Look at the NFL.
Yeah.
The NFL now the NFL saying they sorry to Colin Kaepernick, like or like who was
Right.
wrong.
Yeah.
It's like
I feel
they were
like
on the
they
wrong side of
doing that.
history.
I feel like they definitely doing that. I feel like even here, most people, this may be an unpopular opinion prematurely, but I feel like that even the police here that's, protesting with the people here, I feel like they doing that. I feel like they doing it just to be on the right side of history, like you said. Like I feel like they just doing it to be like, hey, we down, right? Hey, we was with y'all when you know what I'm saying, y'all was out there
Right.
marching for your boy. So, hey, just I feel like
Now,
I just get that feeling, like that's what it's about. It's not really about the cause or about us in general. It's just about looking good. It's like using this to boost yourself up.
on the flip side of that coin, it could be going back to Flint and them marching. It could be that they know they're outnumbered. So we just gonna be with y'all, throughout this
Yeah,
because we outnumbered. You
because we
know,
get our
Yeah.
ass beat for real.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 But also, I mean, like with these companies taking a stand and all that, they already know the backlash that they're gonna get. Like they putting their necks out saying that we for the cause. So as a business aspect, they already know that they're gonna lose probably a whole bunch of people just because off of what they said that uh we back the Black Lives Matter movement, da da da. Oh, that's messed up. I don't like this company anymore. I'm a protest against this company because they
Yeah.
support the Black Lives Matter. Now,
Yeah.
like they already know what they getting themselves into for doing that. So it could be that they actually believe in the movement, or it could be that they just want to be on the right side of history.
That's what, and it's hard to even, that's why I'm saying, like, I don't even know if I should even be thinking about this, but you can't help but to assume that some of these people that are making all because, like, it's like, hundreds of companies are doing it. It's like the
Yeah.
thing to
Yeah.
do. It's like the trend right now.
Now,
Mhm.
if Tommy Hilfiger does it,
Now,
Right.
what they're going to do, it though. What they're going to do is um the internet is probably gonna go back in the history of these different companies that are making these statements now and see like, oh, were they saying anything when Eric Garner died, when they saying anything when Freddie Gray died, were they saying anything when Sandra Bland died, like kind of go back and check they track record and get some receipts, like is this just like a newfound solidarity that they found with Black Lives Matter movement, or is something that they've been on the whole time? I think that's the only way to like kind of somewhat get a clue into like a company's motive and their like, you know what I'm saying, intent behind the support. But speaking of going into people's past and trying to start some stuff, Candace Owens, I call her Coondace because of some of the things that she said. Um, her real name is Candace Owens. I'm not even sure of her track record.
Pull a picture up.
Oh, I'm about to. I'm about to roast her.
Which
But
one? Which
I'm about to.
Get in.
I'm about to roast her.
I hope it's the
I
one
am.
I'm thinking of.
It is Blue
Oh,
Skittles. So
boy.
let me just go ahead and get
Dang.
this banner set up, and then we
Hold
gonna
on.
go in. But Candace Owens posted a video recently on social media talking about George Floyd in not a very positive light at all. Keep in mind this man is dead. But she got on and basically just went down his past or whatever, and went through his criminal record. But I just want to once Giuliano is back, I want to go ahead and listen to some of this video, and then
But that's so messed up though. Like, how can you judge a person in the present off of things that they have done in the past? Everybody is growing up like in
right.
different environments. Nobody really knows how to live life to the fullest. I have not seen too many people do it or too many examples. So it's like you can't fault people for coming up short sometimes, especially if they black, because you see they always been against us, bro, from bringing us over here till now.
Right.
She looked like a coon. I'm about to go cockeyed.
So, but see,
Come on, you.
the way we do here as on the Stimulus podcast, one of our sayings is facts, laughs, facts, and opinions. So we do I like to like actually go to the actual source, video or picture or whatever it is, and really hear what they saying. So we not misquoting nobody. So we're gonna play a little bit of this, not too much, but I have watched this entire 15-minute video just for the record.
Criminals into heroes overnight. And it is something that I find to be despicable, and it's something that I refuse to stand by any longer, and I am not going to play a part in it, no matter how much pressure comes from Black liberals and Black conservatives as some token of people wanting you to believe that this is the only way you can be Black, is you have to say this was wrong and that this person was amazing. I won't do that. George Floyd was not an amazing person. And as soon as this video hit the internet, I did just basic searches. Everyone jumped on it and called and was looking at the police officer, and everyone agrees that the police officer was wrong, and the police officer.
All right, I unmuted myself. Can y'all hear me still?
Yeah.
Okay, you still okay? And you've been watching. You've been able to see it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna let her keep going a little bit, and then I'm gonna bring us back in. I just want to make sure everybody can hear everything. Here we go.
Sir has been arrested. So that is not the reason I'm not discussing that, is because that is not something that has been misconstrued in the media. He has been turned into the devil that he is, and there is no reason for us to harp on that any longer, because white Americans are not uplifting Derek Chauvin as a victim or pretending that he's an amazing human being. But George Floyd is being uplifted as an amazing human being. And for those of you who have not yet seen the clips and did not pursue or wait for more clips to come out, first and foremost, George Floyd at the time of his arrest was high on fentanyl, and he was high on methamphetamine. This came back in both of his autopsy reports. If you pursue the 911 transcript, you can see the person describing somebody who is out of their mind high, and which is what made the person fearful, because he tried to use a bill that I guess was a fake bill to purchase something, and then he was outside acting weird, and they, in their police call, said that this person was obviously distorted and on drugs. When he is put into handcuffs and is put against the wall, a baggie of what looks to be like cocaine or it's white. It's a white baggie that he drops onto the floor that you can see in an image. If you look up the clip, the media is refusing to circulate it. You can find it on Twitter if you use DuckDuckGo and look up George Floyd baggie. You can watch the clip yourself with your own eyes. He had drugs on him at the time of his arrest. Now, barring all of that, nobody thinks that he should have died during this arrest. But what I find despicable to be is that everyone is pretending that this man lived a heroic lifestyle, when he didn't. And I want to talk about what his lifestyle was leading up to this moment, and why I refuse to accept the narrative that this person is a martyr or.
Okay. If you don't get your kids next door forehead, if you don't get your eyes too far apart facial structure,
Right.
Hanes limited edition loose neck crew neck t-shirt,
You don't get your
Coondace
bacon
Owens.
collar.
Yeah, if you don't get your wash it again, get it tighter or something, because the boy is looking real loose right now. What is your forehead? Where are your edges at? What's what like what is this slick back
What
hairstyle you
direction are
going
you
for?
looking in? I don't even know, man. Like,
You recorded this video. You could have got dressed better than that. What is going on?
oh, Vegeta's widow peak having ass.
Widow peak, wide forehead, expansive forehead, tundra forehead, big Sahara desert forehead, real
Low key
estate
though, she
head.
looked like low key she looked like Tevin Campbell with hair. Though. Like,
Tevin Campbell.
If you gave her a fade.
real estate forehead. I need a tape measure forehead. Coondace Owens, y'all heard what she was saying. She was going through George Floyd's criminal history. I wanted to jump into the fact, like she was saying, like, you know, of course he didn't deserve to die at the hands of this officer, but like, why do you have to even say but? Like that he got like way for, and then we looked up earlier that the actual legal punishment for like from counterfeit money up to $1,000 or less is only like a year in prison and a $3,000 fine. And instead he died, and you want to go back in this criminal history? Like, you deserve to be dragged on the internet.
What does the criminal history even have to do with what happened?
Yeah,
what
like
does him being high or being on something, whatever the autopsy said, even has to do with him being restrained and still being having a knee on his neck? All that has nothing to do with the outcome,
right? Like,
you know.
Why are you bringing this? Like, and then people will be like, well, she's not being, racist or whatever. Like, but why bring it up now? Like, he's dead already. Like, him being one type of person or another. And then another thing is, she's talking about like, she refuses to accept this broken black narrative that he's being lifted up as a martyr and as like an amazing person. Like, for one, nobody's even like saying that. They're just saying that he didn't deserve to die. Like, his life mattered.
Right.
His life mattered. He didn't deserve to die. That has nothing. We're not making any kind of statements about his personal life. His personal life doesn't even need to come into this conversation. Like you only do it. And I said, I made a post. I had to block somebody that family that posted this, and I said, when I shared it only for the fact that I was like telling people that if you see this video, block whoever posted it because it's saying some crazy stuff. But like, I was saying that like she's doing exactly what like the conservative media outlets tend to do, and that's as soon as a black person die at the hands of police, they go into their criminal history and paint them in a negative light to kind of make the public kind of indifferent about the death. Yeah, and I feel like that's exactly what she's doing. I mean, she's black though; she looked like us, and she's doing that. I think the racist white person loves that type of black person right there.
Yeah, like, I have to agree with that.
Go ahead.
My thing is just the fact that she just outright said that this man was not an amazing person. Like, did you know him? Like,
yeah, you just
or you like just basing it off of the criminal history?
Yeah,
you want to look at people's lives on paper and call them a terrible person, and and like if anybody, like everybody's made mistakes and gotten into things that they maybe shouldn't have. And if you were just judged on paper for those bad decisions, even if you had great decisions and a good intentions, under the surface, like if you like anybody could be judged then. Like
I'd be messed up.
Yeah,
I'm sure have none of the opportunities that I've had granted with, because I'd be. I mean, on paper,
yeah. I mean, most people is because on paper there is no excuse. On paper, there's no compassion. On paper, there's no empathy. Like, so all you see is mistake, error.
That's what I'm saying. On paper, you don't see nothing but cons. You don't see no pros on that bitch. So it's like you can't weigh both of them and then only have one listed. Like that don't make sense.
By her doing that, that just reminds me of that's also what the government does. You know what I'm saying? They just only look at the rap sheet. Oh, he's a bad person. Should he be on probation? Nah, he needs to be locked up because based off of this incident 6 years ago, I mean, and leading up to that, it's I don't think he should be rehabilitated or her. And I'm not sexist.
And then the vernacular, like the way people talk about the same thing, like because you look at Derek Chauvin or whatever his name is, like you see pictures of him with this "Make America Great Again" hat, and that's a symbol. Everybody knows that's a symbol now. That's probably the icon of Trump's campaign or his campaign as mayor or whatever. Like that's one of the visual icons that he was gonna leave. And every time you see a red hat with white text, it don't even have to say "America, Make America Great Again." It make you kind of look like, are you wearing one of them? It's almost like it's the new hood. It's the new KKK hood that you can wear in public and not necessarily be considered part of a hate group. It's just the new, it's just the modernized PC kind of somewhat version, but people recognize it, and he's in pictures with that on. Then I saw people kind of trying to dispute whether or not the picture of him in the hat is the same person from the video of him kneeling on his neck. But I'm pretty sure it's the same person. And
yeah,
why not go into his history as a violent officer? I think he had a history of violent
14 incidents or something like that.
Yeah, like look into him. She's like, but you heard her say, she was like, we know that Derek Chauvin is being having implemented on him the justice that he deserves. He's a devil. And then she go into like a but George Floyd is like, for what? Like, why? And only one person in this situation murdered somebody, and they wasn't black, and they wasn't named George Floyd.
Then she was saying that he had drugs on him and shit like this. I don't believe none of that shit because police plant shit. They've been caught planting shit, and they do plant shit. So like, you can't tell me a motherfucker if a motherfucker is willing to go to the lengths of killing somebody, then why wouldn't they plant some shit? It would only make sense. Oh yeah, he was high on whatever methamphetamine, so yeah, I had to put him down because he was trying to kill me, or whatever the narrative you want to write or produce. But I feel like that's BS. I feel like everything she was saying was like bull, because it had nothing to do with anything. Like,
with the outcome.
Of course, everybody got a history. Nobody is an angel. Nobody has done everything perfect in their lives. So to like discredit somebody's life basically because they had a history, you know what I'm saying, is crazy. Like, she really is a coon for that. She like Uncle Ruckus.
Yeah,
that's that picture.
She Candace Ruckus.
I want to show y'all this.
That bitch like T.I. kind of cut into her on this, like, it was, what is it, 2019? So it was last year. On a panel. But he was like, hey, Shawty, you going?
I think basically I haven't watched it in a minute, but let's see. This is the Young Turks. Let me see.
Oh yeah, I see T.I. doing this shit. You know that nigga expeditiously.
That share the audio.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna have to edit that too. I think I did it again. I didn't share the audio, so let me see. I'm gonna do it again.
Tragedy, man.
Hey, I'm doing a whole lot over here.
I see.
All right, share audio. Here we go. It's perfect because it started off like with it. So here we go.
Period. Was America great that we're trying to replicate? Which era was it? Tell me.
I think I'll answer your question.
Tell me.
I'll answer your question.
And then the Young Turks they go into commentary about it, but that's the same chick, Coondace Owens, as I call her. They was talking about make America great again. That phrase, like, what again are you talking about? Like, what era? He's saying, what era was it? Like, what era was great for Black people? And that's the question. Like, that's what I was saying. Like the last episode, like, anybody running for president now, they need to use that, because like now we need to be made. I mean, we wasn't great. I don't know if we was ever really great. Like in a overall objective way of looking at it, I don't know if America was ever really a great, nation. It was founded on murder and looting and, what I'm saying, like just taking over indigenous people's land.
Plunder, pillage.
Yeah. I don't think America will ever be great just because there's a curse on it. You know what I'm saying? It's wild. And maybe that's why, going back to COVID, maybe that's why it's the strongest in America. You know what I'm saying? Because it's history has bad blood all over America.
I think okay, and now I mean I'm gonna just throw this out here. I think that
now you're going spiritualism. Go ahead, though.
I think for a long time we've equated greatness with freedom. I think that America is free for no doubt. We have a lot of freedom, a lot more freedom than most countries. But I think that doesn't necessarily equate to greatness. I think you can be free and become spoiled and entitled like we are. And I don't think we're great. I think we're just lazy and like, what I'm saying, self-centered, especially in comparison to some of these other countries. That's why we're having the hardest time dealing with this big adjustment that we have to make because we're so used to having everything our way. I don't think America ever really was great. I think that we've been trying to do things like with civil rights movements like now and in the 60s. But I don't think the fact that we had to have civil rights movements, it tells you something. It tells you that that
it wasn't.
Yeah, like we wasn't great. We weren't great back then, and we having a civil rights movement now. So that tells you something about now. It's not great.
And that all depends on your culture as well, because me as a black person, I'm gonna say that it was never great just because of my history, you know what I'm saying, and my ancestors' history. Right. But if you Caucasian, then I mean, yeah, America was great for you. You know what I'm saying? Like you own people. You know,
it was set up for it.
Yeah, especially when we had those slaves.
And even till this day, we still not considered a full human being, which is wild.
And then you got people that look like us, like Coondace Owens, like I keep calling her. I call her anything. I call her Sly Cooper. I call her whatever, because just because, like, and that's what it is Sly.
Like a fucking weasel.
Yeah, Sly is real, like, it's like a Trojan horse. Like, she looks like us, so we kind of like naturally, like, if you saw her and didn't know who she was, you'd be like, how you doing? Like, I've seen her as like a black sister, but then she got all these like stupid perspectives with no kind of credentials, and she got white people, like the racist white people, looking at her like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's a black person that gets it. Like, no, like no, that we do not.
Come on in the house.
We do not we do not accept. We want to trade. Let's trade as the black delegation. Let's trade Candace Owens for who didn't stood up. That was Robin Thicke. Yeah, let's get Robin Thicke. He know how it is.
Yeah,
he you know what I'm saying. Not to call him black, but he honorary. He had the cookout for sure. He had Paula Patton.
Rogen.
He had Paula Patton. And lost her like a
he had a good woman and cheated on her.
Right. He went Eric Benet. He went Eric Benet. Had Halle Berry.
Y'all
so
see what Seth Rogen did?
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah, I saw him like going off on everybody. People were saying like all lives matter, and he'd go off on them like he'd reply to them on like every single person he was replying to him. He was like, I got time today. He's like, I got time today.
You said Seth Rogen did that?
Yeah. He was cussing them out like and he was like, you don't deserve my movies. F you and your father. Like he was just like going off. Like on each comment, there's a whole bunch of different comments that he says different stuff on. But as the black delegation, I feel like we should vote in I hear vote to trade Candace Owens to whoever want her, put her up for free agency, and give us Robin Thicke. Yeah, we'll take Robin Thicke in exchange for Coondace Owens. I don't understand the motive of like, I mean, I understand it, but like, I don't relate, I guess, to the motive of like, let's this person died. Well, let's see what they've done. What did they do to deserve this death? Like, no, like, you can't do
Nobody
anything.
deserves to die.
Like I said, the actual legal punishment for what he allegedly was doing with the $20 with the fake the alleged $20 bill that was fake. The actual legal punishment for that is only a year in prison, up to a year in prison, and a $3,000 fine. So like if you would have just given him a regular punishment for what he allegedly did, then he would have been alive. But they had some reason to want to like, and then after they had him in the car, and I guess they was kind of like, kind of roughing him up in the car too. I didn't see the video, but I heard about that. And then they brought him outside the car, sat him on the ground, and then eventually got him on the other side of the car. And then that's when the most people that video that most people saw starts with him already on the ground. But like before that, they already had him in custody with cuffs on him, had him in the car, then moved him over to the side of the building, and then they eventually got next to that car. So like it was like what are y'all doing? Like why haven't we just took him to the police station, and why don't we have images of the $20 bill that was allegedly fake? And
right, that's what I'm saying. Why ain't nobody marked that fucking bill? Where is
and then because it's an ongoing investigation.
Of course it is.
And then
that's why.
I bet it's gonna be ongoing.
But somebody one of the statements said, one of the people that I guess was there had a statement and was quoted as saying like the ink was running on it. So like I feel like somebody would have took a picture of that. Like somebody would have like it would have leaked out by this point.
That don't even sound like realistic though. Like
running on it, like
still running on it, like what?
Like
who won't even try to like give that off? Like even if I was high out of my mind, I don't think that I would be like looking at a running $20 bill and be like, yeah, I'm finna get this to them.
Yeah. And like we said, his brother Steven Jackson, I'm assuming that he's associated with some kind of money. I'm not trying to like pocket watch them, but like I mean, he was an NBA star. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's his twin. So, and then also I do want to talk about Breonna Taylor. A lot of the focus has been on the George Floyd. It's unfortunate that we even have to like split up our attention to multiple deaths and stuff like that. But when I talk about Breonna Taylor, and I got some of the hashtags that have been used for her. I mean, I'm gonna edit this one though. But I want to talk about her and the fact that we shouldn't forget about another tragedy basically that's happened pretty much in the same time. And also like just as tragic, the fact that she was an EMT, kind of a first responder, and kind of just innocently got killed because the police were looking for somebody that turned out later was already in custody. So they busted in people's doors, shooting, not asking questions, not presenting themselves, not
trying to de-escalate the situation.
Yeah, they didn't even identify themselves when they showed up. Like, hey, knock on the police. Like the police, open up. Like to even because like they would have realized that they had done that it was just like, oh, this is the wrong place. The person we're looking for actually is in custody. Why is there no communication once that person is found? Like, hey, everybody that was on that search, we got them. Like, why is there?
Yeah.
Why is there that? Go ahead.
Her birthday, I believe, was the 5th or something like that.
It was just recently. Yeah.
She would have been 27. The police weren't in uniform. They had a warrant it's a no-knock warrant, so that's why they just busted in. And she was dead asleep. She wasn't even proving a threat. But like I said earlier, they just go for the gun first. With any situation, they like to reach for that hip.
They probably showed up with them bitches in hand, like.
And then I heard some of the 911 call because her boyfriend was there, I think, and he called and was like, I guess she was like bleeding and stuff, like, he was like in shock, and like understandably so, and I mean, it's like I said, it's unfortunate that we even have to remember to not remember different people that have been dying. I just heard about something in Virginia that happened too. I don't got the details on that, but it's just like it's so many, and I mean, social media is part of it too. Like the fact that like they people say that I think Will Smith was like, police brutality is not at an all-time high. We just got camera phones and it's being recorded now.
And that was powerful.
Yeah, so like this is like how it's just putting a highlighter over how it's always been for the most part.
And who knows how many more were killed because of stupid things without it being recorded. Damn, I forgot where I was going.
And also with because we bring in focus to all these black people that are dying, and then you got people saying all lives matter, and it's like all lives matter is a protest to a protest. Like we're protesting police brutality. Like how you protesting my protest? Like
it's like me too, bro. Don't forget about me. We here too. Like but y'all ain't getting killed. Like all lives are not getting killed like black lives. I guess that's how they should tell these motherfuckers. Like it seems like. All lives do matter. Nobody is saying that they don't, but it's just saying that, okay, all lives don't get attacked, it seems like black lives. Even if you don't try to kill a black person, you still think of them illy. Like, you know what I'm saying? You prejudge them like it's something negative, it seems like, when you think about black people, in a sense.
Right.
Other than, like, niggas can run fast, niggas can dribble a ball or catch a ball, or you know what I'm saying, do some shit like that. But other than that, we ain't really, or we can entertain you.
And I think
I seen this. Okay.
I think so like I said, all lives matter, like a protest to a protest. I used this analogy a long time ago about that, and it was like, if you get hurt, so if I get a cut on my arm, I probably, and it's bad, I might go to a doctor. And as a doctor, you're gonna assess the wound or whatever. And so like we're talking about all lives matter versus Black Lives Matter in this analogy. So so like the doctor sees the cut on your arm, he assesses it. This kind of treatment needs to be made to that wound, to your arm. Now, saying all lives matter is basically like being that doctor and saying like, well, I'm going to treat your entire body. I'm going to treat things that don't even have anything wrong with them. Also, and the cut, but also, I want to make sure your hairline is good, and I want to make sure, like, is it like random other stuff? No, you're going to treat specifically that thing that's detrimental, like right now. That's like, that's going to be a hazard to my health and well-being going forward right now. You go look at my arm and see the cut, and I'm gonna treat that. I'm not gonna be worried about, oh, I also have knee pain. No, we got to look at what's being affected the most by adversity. Black people are disproportionately subjected to adversity. We was brought over here, we were looted over here as slaves, built the country for free. We were put at a disadvantage. The country was built by and for white men, to get ahead. They have these. That's what white privilege is. It's just history. White privilege is just history. It's just literally what happened. Like how y'all set it up. Y'all that took people that didn't look like y'all over here to build a country for free labor, built the country, then made them slaves, killed them if they got out of line. No, not all lives matter until Black Lives Matter, like they say. Like like we like how can you protest a protest? How can you be so attention hungry and be so self-centered that, like, even in the middle of somebody's crying out for their life, you like, well, yeah, but me too. But no, you're not being killed like that. Where is the white version of George Floyd? Where is that version of that video? Where is a white man and a black officer, or a white officer and a white man? Like, where is that version? You don't see it because that's not what is happening at the same rate as us. Like, it's most time it's black people. Like, there was a whole stint where, like, it was a whole bunch, like back when the dude, I remember he had a green shirt on, he was like wrestling, kind of tussling with the officer, started running, shot him, and he's running away. Like, it was a whole stint back in that area, I feel like, where that's like where Trayvon Martin was, and all, like, it was a bunch of them. We have a disproportionate amount of those things happening. So to say all lives matter, like, as a response, it's like, dog, like, don't fight me for attention when I'm crying for my life. Like,
I'm out here bleeding.
Yeah, don't steal my thunder when, like, I'm on my last breath, and you fine, but but don't forget about me though. Like, you
I
good
heard this
though.
this other analogy. It was like, if you got 100 sheep, right, for all lives. If you got 100 sheep and one of those sheep get away, although all the other 99 do matter, but that one sheep is now in danger. You know what I'm saying? It's lost. We need to bring it back to the stead. You know what I'm saying? So all lives do matter. You know.
I got an analogy too. Fuck the police.
Go ahead. That's the analogy.
I'm just
All
being
right.
ignorant, y'all. I'm just like,
No, I mean, but the public perception on police is shifting like
It's
more than it.
shifting drastically.
Yeah, it's shifting more than it has in a very long time. Like probably since Rodney King, the '90s, the LA riots of the '90s when Rodney King happened. And then I think the officer got off on that. So like, not since then I think have we seen this level of like public unrest and like civil action and like this. Like I said, like this is historic for like coronavirus reason. Also for the civil rights movement. This is the biggest. I think this is probably bigger than the original civil rights movement of the 60s. Like this is like the new depression era. This is and it's like I want us to be like mindful that it's happening while we in it. And
Just
realize that
because it is televised.
yeah, like we're gonna like this time is gonna be told in history for a long time, like forever. Because it was unprecedented. It was the first time that I think everything was just hitting us all. We getting jumped. Like as a country, we getting jumped by police brutality, we getting jumped by coronavirus, we getting jumped by our president.
Work, boy.
Like it's like a perfect storm of everything. They got a basically like a hurricane hitting already hit New Jersey and all them some other states, knocking out power for like hundreds of thousands of people. Like this is everything is happening like at the same time. It's hard to even keep up with everything.
It is.
There is an alleged volcano that's supposed to erupt.
Oh, you
also,
talking about in LA or
Colorado or Wyoming or what are those states?
You talking about this super volcano?
Yeah, it's supposed to erupt. Now, if that thing do, man, 2020 is going to be.
It's literally been.
It's in Yellowstone, I think. Or is it Yellowstone? Is
Yellowstone sounding about right?
right?
Somewhere in the Alps. Is that here?
Yeah, and they say if that bitch go off, then it's gonna make the other volcanoes around it go off.
It's like, man, the world is like. So I want to make I'm probably gonna make a shirt that said like. Cause I've been saying it's like a movie every day, like because it's like you got a biological threat, like a virus that's like we don't have a cure for it. It's like kind of impending threat, killing over 100,000 people. That was the main character. We got a subplot of murder hornets and subplot of Donald Trump as our president. Also a subplot of police brutality makes his shows its head once again. Got us distracted. Now coronavirus then flanked us, coming out with a new strain. They didn't went into hibernation. Coronavirus didn't went into hibernation and upgraded and evolved on us.
Right. It's done evolved on us like a damn Pokemon and shit.
Right.
I'm waiting on the hero to come out.
Coronamon.
I'm
so like
Amoeba boys.
Right, we gotta go. They said forget. They said we ain't messing with the police and we ain't messing with Paw Patrol. Dogs.
Paw Patrol.
Yeah. But yeah, I do want to make sure that we remember also the Breonna Taylor and just like people like that, stories like hers, where like there's literally nothing she could have done to avoid that situation. It was literally just negligence on the police's standpoint. Juliana, you mentioned like training being 9 months. That's like stupid. Like the fact that you can become a cop and become one of these people that's in charge of making these decisions in these moments. Mr. 9 months, I can become one of these people that make these decisions, get into these escalated decision making moments, and I can drop the ball because I was 9 months. I can do a lot. You can do like that's just like as long as it takes to have a baby, and people be popping out babies. So
and it's alleged that one of the cops that was on George Floyd, that was his first day out, and his trainer was Chauvin. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. And his name was the Chauvin.
And that's wild because his bond is like $1 million. Damn. Now, what is bond?
I don't. I think it was like not much. I think it was not much.
Not $1 million.
It might have been like 5,000 or
So
something like
hold
that.
on, whose bond was $1 million?
The dude first day out
What?
on the police force alleged. Yeah,
And the killer bond is not $1 million.
is not that high.
That's crazy. Why would his bond be $1 million? So like what? 10% of that? I think you got to pay 10% of that to get out. So like 10% of that's like what? 100,000.
100. Yeah.
That's crazy. Where the fuck is this nigga gonna find $100K?
Right.
And he just started, and his 9 months just ended. Like what?
I mean that's messed up to laugh about it, but man,
it is. But I
it's
it's
crazy
you
that
gotta joke about certain stuff like to make it ease the blow of it. Because like really in my head when I think about all of this stuff that's going on, I really think like it is a movie or like it's some Twilight Zone type shit. Like it's something that's like it's happening and I'm seeing it happen, but it's like, man, am I really a part of this? Like it's crazy to see.
That's why I was saying I want us to like know that this is like all historic stuff, like on multiple levels. Whether it's the virus, whether it's the civil rights movement of 2020, it was just like a powder keg, and it's exploding right now. And it's like I think it's easy around here because Flint didn't do any kind of violence type stuff or like criminal looting or rioting or whatever. It's easy to like feel like, oh, it's not that crazy, but no, like in other cities that like really went there, like it's bad. Like they burnt buildings down. Like that's like it's businesses that's probably not gonna come back. Like it's really having an effect. I don't know whether it'll be like a completely positive effect or like half and half or mostly negative. I don't know, but it's definitely got a lot of attention, and it's got like some of the powers that be. I feel like it's getting to the point where they ain't got no choice but to open their ears about what people want to do. Because like otherwise, if they don't present some kind of at least front of like listening, then people are just gonna keep on doing what they're doing, and they'll never make money again. We just go ahead.
To piggyback off of what you were saying, I've had a couple people ask me like, what do you want out of this whole protest or whatever? Some might say justice. What I say, what I would like to come out of this whole protesting and rioting, anger, is just to open people's eyes and for them to know that it is unfairness towards a certain ethnic background. Hopefully, we do have black on black crime and all the other stuff, and hopefully from this, will come, that all the brothers and sisters can come together, and understand that we as a unity have been unjust. And
thumbnail. Everybody do the fist. I'm gonna do my left hand, but I'm gonna do this for the thumbnail. I can get my arm in there.
Thumbnail.
There we go.
Boom.
Yeah.
Okay, there we.
Okay.
What is it? Undercover brother.
Right.
I just hope that it just opens up people's eyes, and it seems like that what it's doing. Because I'm surprised to see other so many people of the lighter world that is coming in and realizing that it is unjust, that we are getting treated unfairly, that they have had a leg up for generations. You know what I'm saying? Stockpiling money and all that stuff. But I'm just hoping that we really come together as a culture and hopefully come out of this on top. And to go out and vote. That's the only reason that we can make a change. If the people out there listening believe in voting. I know some people don't.
Yeah. And I was gonna say that now I'm trying to remember what I was gonna say. But yeah, I think this is the first time that that like the real like a real like specific and clear spotlight has been put on police brutality, where can't nobody even deny it. This is like one of the first times that there's no debate about whether or not the police officer was wrong. Like this is the first time everybody was like, yep, that was definitely not necessary, and definitely could have been avoided if they just put him in the car, left him in the car, took him to the station, booked them, whatever they wanted to do, versus doing what they actually did.
even with that one video you was talking about earlier, where the dude took off running and the cop shot him in the back.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it's like, how do you?
Yeah, that's terrible.
Like, now I can see in that moment, say like, because he was kind of wrestling with him over the gun. Probably didn't want to be shot, so he probably didn't want to let him pull his gun on him. But I doubt he would try to take the cop's gun and shoot the cop with the cop's gun. Like that's
Right.
I mean, that wouldn't even be smart. But outside of that, for him to be running away from you, so now you have your gun. You see him. There's distance between you and him. There's no way he can get it now.
10 yards.
Yeah, but you're like, you know what? Just for wrestling with me for that, 30 seconds. Here, pop.
Yeah, I feel like that. I feel like that's what it was. I feel like he was more so like his pride was hurt, and he was kind of pissed off because in the video you could tell he was an older dude. You know what I'm saying? So he probably was at the end of his leg of being a police officer. And he's like, motherfucker, tried to grab my gun.
Yeah. Got something for you, nigga.
You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like he was just mad.
We're coming for you, nigga.
Probably mad from the previous night that his wife didn't put his food in the microwave. Who knows?
And the fact that like the white people make up so much of the majority of a law enforcement, and they can have these preconceived notions about black people. Like why get the job if you? I mean, like they have to have you have to have known that situations like this were going to happen. Knowing where you're going to be policing and stuff, like that like people either don't look like you, or you might think a certain way about a certain demographic of people. Like why take the job if you can't handle yourself with like a person that's mad, a black person that's mad, a black man, and without it resulting in you shooting them or whatever, like, or just having some unnecessary force.
It could be just a generational thing, because they family could be all cops, just like their family could be all in the military, so they want to make their parents happy and join up in what they did. And it's a brotherhood too.
Yeah, it's a fraternity.
So you can get fired from a Virginia force and then move out to Indiana and get right on back up in the force like nothing has changed.
Yeah.
Right. My thing is just like have white officers in predominantly white areas. I mean, because it's like, race aside, I mean, we are like comfortable with people who look like us. You know what I'm saying? It's not racist to think like that. It's just you comfortable with people because they kind of think like you or whatever the case. So, and if we can't have all black officers in urban areas, then at least mix it up and have like, okay, a white officer with a black officer. That way it's not, you know what I'm saying, or you can limit the chances of a problem occurring because of race. If you
have
got
the ratio be somewhat equal.
Yeah, like it's crazy to think that like, okay, you got people that don't look like you trying to tell you to chill out, versus if somebody that you knew, because I mean, we all went to school with people that may have went into law enforcement. I believe that everybody went to school with at least one or two people that's done went into that field. So you by chances, the person that you went to school with, you know what I'm saying, see you cutting up in the outside, and they be like, hey bro, you don't chill out. All right, you right, bro. I ain't know it was big time like that. You know what I'm saying?
Big time.
That could be that could de-escalate a situation. Just, you know what I'm saying, that relatability. Like I can relate to you because of, either I know you or I know your people or whatever the case may be. I feel like we need people like us to police us, and vice versa for every other race. You know what I'm saying? It's enough of us that want to do that type of stuff and that do it.
Yeah. I put the hashtag I see color because like
I just saw that. I see color though.
But because like there's so many people for so long, so many years they was using I don't see color. Like I don't even see color, man. Like I don't even know. Like I don't even joking about, man. Like I don't even see color in any situation. And it's like it's never been a call for people not to see color. It's really been like see us for what we are, see the differences between us, and see the differences in the treatment that we almost said tweetment. See the differences in the treatment that we get as black people. That's what we want you to see. That's why like I said, this civil rights movement has been so effective and so large and impactful is because for the first time, I think people are actually seeing the differences in the treatment of black people versus white people. They're seeing white privilege like being displayed on like a really magnified, you know what I'm saying, like level, like a microscopic level. People are like, people are realizing that people that was around and friends with on social media are kind of low-key racist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I had to unfollow somebody that, family. So I think that, but we're talking about Breonna Taylor. I do want to like make sure that we remember like Breonna Taylor and everybody else that's like similar stories. Yeah, because like not all of them get national spotlight, because if they did, it would be even more depressing to watch. So the ones that do get attention are definitely of course important, but also the ones that don't get as much attention.
Do y'all know what happened in her case? Like if the officers were charged or
I don't know about that, but I believe they're filing for a lawsuit
they
on
should. They should win.
I forgot what lawsuit it is, but yeah, that's why they trying to bring it back to life, because they feel as though it got knocked out of the headlines sort of with this whole George Floyd coming in. So, and her birthday just came up, so they want to bring the spotlight or like a sub headline or something like that, just to shed light on like it's still messed up what happened to her,
You know why she got knocked out of the spotlight? I feel like it's because there was no video of her death.
Right.
In my eyes and in my opinion, I feel like that her case is worse than George Floyd's.
Yeah.
Because in the sense of like I'm sleeping in my bed, bro.
Yeah.
Like I'm really not a threat to anybody.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? You can argue whether George was a threat or whether he had counterfeit money or whatever the case. That's debatable. But what's not debatable is me sleeping and then getting shot in my sleep and dying. And not only to add insult to injury, I saved lives. You took my life. That's crazy. Like that to me, that is mind blowing.
That level of irony is crazy.
Yeah, very ironic. Stupid ironic.
So like I'm on the CNN page, and it says no charges. It says legal, a wrongful death lawsuit, an FBI investigation, but no charges. So they're looking into it, but also we have to like, as people, we also have to understand that. And Anderson Cooper popping up. We have to understand that like the legal process is like with any case, it takes a while for stuff to happen. So even if we do get somewhat justice as far as charges, it's not going to be instant. They're going to have to do a full investigation before they even are willing to say anything. But
I think it's BS, man.
Yeah.
It's like if you did something, like it don't take years or like months of investigation. Like you can wrap that shit up in a week. Do
especially if it's cut and dry
investigation every day, work on it, and then you can knock that out, because it's clear to see that they were in the wrong. So you know that they're in the wrong, not just piece it together as far as what happened during the day leading up to that. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that to me is crazy. I do not like the justice system. That's why, like, I'm with voting. I get voting, and I encourage people to vote if you want to, you know what I'm saying, use your voice and feel powerful. But I feel like that we should just get rid of this whole fucking system. I feel like this shit has been it's outdated. It's like them big ass cellular phones, you know what I'm saying, that niggas was first using in the 90s and 80s and stuff like that. It's way outdated. It does not match the time and even the people that live in the country. Like, this shit was dated back when they was wearing powdered wigs and tights and shit like that. Like, we don't live like that no more. Like, how is this a democracy when
I'm gonna take her off
really
here,
we can be outvoted? Like, I believe in voting, like I said, like, and I feel like that you should vote, but I don't vote, and I haven't voted personally, because of like things like the electoral college and just, you know what I'm saying, scandals and stuff like that. Like, I feel like you should vote, especially when it comes to your city and things that are close knit to you, because you probably have the most like chance of changing that versus like the global thing. And then if you can change one thing small, then you maybe branch off into like a whole state or whatever. But I this system, I feel like just throw that whole shit away. Throw the whole system away. It does not work for the current America and Americans.
Mm-hmm. Some people believe that the government is just the front, like they don't even make the real calls or whatever. Like the Roth family, or like the top families of the world.
All of that money, yeah.
Like the top families make the calls as to what's going on. So we just gonna put in this government over here, make the institutionalize, make people think that this is what's really going on. Like the government has control, But really, you know what I'm saying, we got the control over what they want to do, because that's electoral college. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what the people think. All right, that's cool, but we don't want that. You know,
right. It's like it's that illusion of like input and an illusion of control. Like we set up this system of voting, and then make it not even that convenient to vote, and then also at the other end of it, if what the people want is not seen as lucrative to the country, the electoral college would just override, what we said. Like we said Hillary, but they was like, no, we don't give y'all Trump because that's what works for our bottom line.
It's like, hold on, y'all really don't want that.
Really don't.
You really
I'm
don't
trying to help you. Like,
right. That's just like that. That's my thing, man. I think that shit is crazy, bro.
And if anybody that's watching, that's why I have the money behind, because I think it is like a lot of, especially politics. This dollar bill, this $20 bill, it's $20 bill specifically because of George Floyd and the alleged fake $20 bill. But money, politics and money are like inseparable. It's like these politicians need funding, and they gonna say what they need to say to be aligned with certain people, and so like everybody is doing what they need to do. Like I said, with the companies making these like black statements and stuff, like they're doing what they need to do to be on the right side of history when this is all over. But I do want to move us on into another topic or another segment, really. And this segment is called Unpopular Opinion. We've been kind of alluding to some of our unpopular opinions. I have a whole lot of them, so this probably will be a recurring segment because I got like at least 10 that I can think of like right now. But one of them is, I think, is a good starter. It's not super serious at all. One of them, and I'm gonna just go ahead and go out here and say I almost want some music or something to get my atmosphere right. Yeah, I just want to get the but I'm not gonna do the music, but eventually I might end up adding music to the show. But first one I'm gonna go start with is the fact that I believe that it makes more sense to put the milk into the bowl before you put the cereal into the bowl. I think that you get manual control over the it's like a time released you know what I'm saying.
Hold on.
You gotta hear me out. Hear me out.
Yeah, you gotta give him his time.
Yeah, so it's like a time like I play games. I multitask when I'm eating cereal sometimes. So like if I want to be able to like play a game and come back to that cereal, it'll still be it won't be soggy because the milk wasn't poured through the cereal. It's sitting on top of it. So the majority of the cereal is sitting above the surface, therefore dry, therefore still crunchy. The other day I had a bowl of cereal that was literally crunchy the whole time I was eating it, like to the end of it, till there was none left, because I poured the cereal underneath, and the cereal had the chance to sit on top and not get soggy. So the entire time I was eating it, I was just like kind of manually pushing the cereal down into the milk, kind of getting the right texture, and then eating it. The entire time I had like crunchy bites of cereal because I was doing it like that. If you pour it through the cereal, it's gonna get soggy a lot faster. It's starting that instant that you pour it through there. But it's only starting when you put the spoon into the bowl, when you when you got the milk sitting underneath and the cereal sitting on top like a raft.
Did you finish? Are you done?
I'm done. I'm done.
Boy, I'm glad this is unpopular. Okay, so you talking about putting the milk in a bowl foist.
Foist.
Voice.
You talk about putting the milk in a bowl foist.
Yeah.
And then the syrup.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, when I eat food, it's business. All right. So I'm handling it. Right?
Talk about it. Talk about it.
I'm handling it right then and there. All right. Real stuff. If I'm playing the game, hey yo, I'll be back. You know what I'm
He
saying?
said it ain't no distraction.
If I'm studying, which I don't, so that's a lie. My mama know that's a lie. But I'm handling my business. All right, food.
Yeah.
I'm putting.
Let that bitch get soggy.
No, man. I'm putting the cereal in the bowl first. I'm putting my hand over top of the bowl, and I'm pouring in that milk. I'm getting all of it. Yep, and then I'm gonna take.
You put your hand on top of the bowl while you pouring it.
Because sometimes you get that overflow. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes
that nigga said he poured a plate with the bowl.
Sometimes you put too much milk in the bowl, so you know you say
that overflow.
Yeah, you got cereal falling out. So in order to protect that, put a hand over top and pour it on in. You know, and then you always gotta have two bowls. You always gotta have two bowls of cereal off top. You know what I'm saying? So that extra milk that you put in there, go ahead and put that other cereal in that bowl. That's the only time that I would say it's acceptable for the second bowl.
Are you talking about? I was laughing. You said the second bowl. You talking about? I literally got like tears on my face. You talking about a second bowl, like you going back for seconds?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's milk already in the bowl, so that's the only time it's acceptable for milk to be
like the second round. Okay.
Yeah,
that's that good milk too. That's that
that sweetened milk.
That's that cinnamon toast crunch milk right there.
That's that sweet.
Man, that is wild, man. That is wild. You live by that.
I'm the same way though. I don't even let that shit get soggy.
Okay.
When I pour my bowl, you know what I'm saying? I hit that. And I'm that right after that.
That's basically what I'm doing. Like the little chop that thing.
Yeah.
I'm doing that. I just do it like, you know, and it's I like it like when I'm playing the game, especially when I gotta have both my hands. I can like once the action died down in the game, I can like do the little push down of the cereal and get some, and then the rest of it is still kind of sitting on top. So now this cereal's life is like extended.
Do you have milk on standby
to add? No.
Okay.
I just because like think about this too. Like when you got cereal in, I've done this a million times too. When you got cereal sitting in the bowl first and you pouring milk, like
I've never done that.
If it's deep enough of a bowl, like it's hard to see where the milk is at, the level of the milk is at. But when you pouring it first, you see only the milk, so you didn't know exactly how much milk is and how much cereal goes with that amount of milk.
Well, it sounds like you went to culinary school, man. Like you be in the kitchen. You know
that's how I think. That's why I said I got a lot of these. I got like a good solid like 5 more I could do right now. But that's my first one.
Well, I'll go ahead with my first one.
Okay.
I don't like wearing seatbelts.
Oh, okay.
Straight up. I don't like it.
Go ahead. Now I'm gonna give you like 30 seconds to go ahead and just explain that.
All right, 30 seconds to explain. Very simple. If a motorcycle ain't got to wear a helmet, why should I feel like I got to wear my seatbelt when I'm more protected in my vehicle? When if a car door opens for a motorcycle, they automatically going off. You know what I'm saying? They're not protected. Why should I have to wear my seatbelt in my vehicle? That's as if saying your radio can't be on when you go through a drive-through. That's a law. You know what I'm saying? You got to turn your radio down. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me.
I now that you bring up the motorcycle thing, I do think that it is weird. Like if you're in a bigger, more dangerous, I guess more of a threat to everybody else, like more of a threat to a motorcyclist or whatever. It seems like the motorcyclist will have to have more restrictions. Like you would just fly off like loose body, like
Yeah, easy. Easy. Hit a pothole and be gone.
Just off of, like you said, off a pothole, off of like just like a log in the street that they didn't see coming. Like in almost every scenario, if you hit something with your front wheel and like your back wheel come up, you're not gonna stand on it. You're not standing on the bike. You falling off.
Unless you know how to ride that thing.
Yeah, if you can do that,
counteract it.
And if you can do that, you need to be inducted into the Incredibles or something. Like, cause
yeah,
how you stay on a bike that's like that's end over end, and you stand on it and you just landed on that boy. Like, how you do that?
But for my unpopular opinion, I only wear seatbelts during the day, most of the time. But at night,
that's a good one. That is a good. I like unpopular opinions that like have a legit side on each one. Because like, of course, you got people. It's like, oh, you need to wear it because for safety and stuff. And they have had scenarios where they kind of almost as a fact they save somebody's life.
And but as a fact, seatbelts can also kill.
That's true. So that's why I like that one, because it's kind of balanced. It's very controversial, but it's got some balance to it when you look at some of the details.
That's just my unpopular opinion.
What about you, Vision?
Unpopular opinion. All black people don't like watermelon.
Oh,
I for one do not really care for it.
Yeah, I tasted it because my mom loved watermelon, and literally for like my entire life that I can remember, my mom has loved watermelon. Like, and she'd be like every other day, literally, she'd be wanting a watermelon. And I'm like, I tasted some of it the other day, and I'm just like, I hadn't tasted it in a while, and I was just like, yeah, I see why I hadn't tasted it in a while. Like, it's not that good. It's like it's kind of got like a pasty, kind of like gritty, like texture to it too, like the actual melon inside. The red part, like, and then some of them, and then we figured out how to find the ones that's sweeter. You know the trick about that?
No.
So like there's so looking at now we're about to go into the science of watermelons. But looking at a watermelon, so it's usually green mostly, and usually a lot of them have like a little sunspot, a little yellow spot or whatever, and that's basically because they sit in the sun, they sit like outside, outdoors, and they grow and they ripen. So one that has a bigger sunspot is one that's more likely to be ripened and sweet, for when for people that like the sweet ones. Another thing is you can knock on them. A lot of people knock on the watermelon, and if it has like a hollow sound, that means it's filled up with water, and those tend to be sweeter. So, and then last thing is these are three big things. The last thing of the three is the stem, where it's like chopped off to where the stem was. If it's brown, then it's usually it kind of reached maturity and it's probably ripe. If it's still green, then that means that it got plucked and clipped before it actually got a chance to really grow. So
that makes sense.
All that that little just like lesson aside, but watermelon is not that good. Like, it's like to be one of our stereotypes, our running stereotypes. I'm like, it's not that good. Like, I'm sure
that's what
all
I'm saying.
kind of
like, man,
white people that like it more than me.
The day, like they had us eating watermelon. Like,
yeah,
I'm just like,
show this some good watermelon, sir. Like, like this real like love it. Like,
there's so many other fruits though that I put over watermelon. Like,
yeah, I mean, I feel like bananas are like that's every kid's one of the kids' like favorite like fruits.
Are fire. Strawberries are fire.
Yeah,
pears are my favorite.
Yeah, there were some years where I was eating a lot of plums.
Oh, plums are good too. Yeah, I put a plum over watermelon.
Yeah, especially like sometimes you can kind of like peel a plum. Bro? Oh, he been quiet this whole time because he been holding that in. He been quiet that whole time.
He over there boiling. That nigga like, I don't understand y'all put
right.
cereal or milk in the bowl first. I'm like,
I put my hand over the bowl when I pour the milk. I put my that's still the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Although I like watermelon, I don't love
watermelon. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
like
But
I
Yeah.
like it. It's okay.
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if it's on the fruit tray, oh, that's going on the plate for sure.
Okay, I give you that. Yeah. You know, I
Yeah.
throw a look. If it's sweet, I'll eat it and it's
Yeah.
enjoyable for me. But if it's just regular watermelon, like if you ain't pick it right and it's just watery and just got that grit to it, I'm just like, what is the point? Like, I'm just eating some water fiber.
I will put kiwi over watermelon. That's my all-time favorite fruit.
Most definitely, I put kiwi over watermelon.
And kiwi has got like a way better, like it's got that tropical appeal too. Like watermelon is like
aphrodisiac, you know.
Yeah, and it's like it's got like a distinct like tarty but kind of sweet flavor. Like, and it looks good in pictures, like the color of the green and the black seeds. But okay, so I mean, you want to keep going with the unpopular opinion?
Yeah, since you got a whole slew of them.
This is what I wanted to remember. So payment, I was talking about payment earlier when it comes to cops and stuff. So my unpopular opinion, another one is that we overpay our entertainers. Entertainers are like athletes and stuff. Mainly athletes. I think we overpay them. We have all these $1 million contracts. When we have, especially in the light of like having teachers being underpaid, firefighters, police being underpaid, understaffed. But we got athletes that can finesse you on the court and score on you, or you can throw a pass or whatever, and they getting paid millions. It shows where our emphasis is. It's not in education. Like it shows where our emphasis is, and that is in entertainment, and it's in athletics and all that kind of stuff, and not
Shucking
in like
and jiving.
And not in education, not in all these other things that are way more important, like kind of like objectively what more important. Like education is objectively more important than the outcome of a basketball game. At the end of which nobody dies or lives, at the end of which nobody goes with or without an education or a curriculum. Like, but teachers, the people that do deliver that stuff, are not paid very well, kind of like historically, or like everybody knows that teachers don't get paid that well. But like, we got people that play a game, the outcome of which, like I said, does not really matter. Does not matter who wins the championship of. This is stuff that we made up as a society. The championship in the NBA finals and the Super Bowl. That's literally stuff that people made up. But education is also something that we like understand now and how important it is, but we don't pay the people that are in charge of delivering this education to people. We don't pay them like we pay the people that are doing the stuff that don't matter.
So
that's
in your unpopular opinion on that, what would you say they deserve to get paid?
I would say at least $100,000 a year. I think that like, and if you gotta pull it from those NBA contracts or whatever, those NBA caps and all that stuff, like salary caps, if you got to pull that in order to give every teacher $100,000, like the base minimum, like do it, because like our teachers deal with, like, think about how even like my class was as students. Sometimes like we were super like, you know what I'm saying, like
obnoxious
just doing stuff, being bad kids, like how kids tend to be. And you shouldn't be underpaid on top of having to deal with that in your everyday like work life. That's why teachers be stressed out and like, addicted to coffee and like, but they do it and that also shows you that people
how
are
much love they got.
Right, they're doing it for the right reason. They're not doing it for money, obviously, because the money is not there. They're doing it for some kind of, either whether it's some kind of like a former dream of theirs, just to like educate, and maybe they just kind of gotten burnt out or something. But like they should not have to deal with like poverty on top of trying to educate people or kids. So I think that
not to be in poverty.
I think that scale needs to be. I think that, I'm not saying that they take all the NBA players' money, but I'm saying I think that scale needs to be leveled a little bit to where, like, if you're doing an important job in society, you get paid important money. You shouldn't be doing important jobs for, like, you know what I'm saying, non-essential money.
So and going to the 12, how much you think they should be getting paid to
police
put their lives on the line?
I think they should be paid much more as well. I think that part of the reason, but I also think that the training, you know what I'm saying, span should be much longer than 9 months or whatever it is. I think it should be a lot harder to become a cop. I think becoming a cop should be about as hard as becoming a Marine or becoming like a, you know what I'm saying, like something like that, a specialist
Air
of
Force,
of some kind. It should be just as hard and just as rigorous, just as like, you know what I'm saying, like it should be such an experience that like you never are the same because of all this training that you went through, all this racial discrimination type training, all this like race relations training, all of this, de-escalation training. Like after that, you should be like this, like almost like a machine. Like
it
as
should
far
break
as
you.
you should be a master mediator. You should be able to like like control and de-escalate any situation socially, and without a gun.
What Kevin Hart was talking about. He's like, oh, wait a minute, this don't look good. Nope. But I think,
go ahead.
I think it should bring you to that breaking point as to, do I really want this, or is this just something that I just want to follow in my footsteps, or is this just something that I said I wanted to be? Like it should bring you to that crossroad as to have you think about, like, man, this is really a grueling test. I don't think I want to do this. You know what I'm saying? Right. Or it's like, I'm here. I really want this. You know what I'm saying? This is really what I want to do. Okay, so let me take that another step as to I really want to do this. The training should be 3-4 years.
Yeah, it should be like getting a degree, like getting I think what was I about to say? But I think in terms of money and stuff like that, yeah, like you don't have to take the NBA players' money, but just like, find the money somewhere. We obviously got money that we giving out, even though we in debt. We giving out stimulus money. Like give some money to these teachers that they shouldn't have to deal with the stress of like that's just all I want to say. There's a whole different like lightness that you feel when you ain't worried about money, and like you just all right. You kind of just like doing all right. Like it's a certain feeling that you have, but it's a whole another feeling when you do have financial stresses and stuff like that, and you worried about what's going to happen next month, how I'm going to pay the rent. Like it's going to be this many days late. That means it's going to be this many late fees, and like when you worry about stuff like that all the time, that takes a toll on your overall like disposition. When you're not worried about that, you're able to be happier. I feel like you're able to like not constantly be thinking about the impending like debt that you're in, and like you can just like, think about life and live life, you know what I'm saying, more in a more like this colorful type of way. Like you're not so stressed, you're not weighed down by so much stress.
Yeah. And I think that can go back as to, being a cop, like you getting 40 to 60,000 a year. You trying to live this lifestyle, you trying to be in this community. You want people to see you that you made it. You know what I'm saying? You're a cop. People look up to cops. They get, free lunch, free dinner, all that type of stuff just because of the uniform that they wear. But if you trying to live that lifestyle and you're putting yourself in debt, knowing good and damn well that you can't afford those types of things, like you were saying, you got to pay your rent, you know what I'm saying, do this, do that. The kids got to eat, kids need school clothes, all that stuff. And now that's weighing you down in your head. Now you mad, but you still got a job to go out and do. And then now you got this person that's acting up. You already got that stuff in your head. You're already mad about that. And then now this person's acting up. Now you just over the edge. Now you pissed off. Now you're going to take all that anger that you had at the crib in your personal life, bring it to the job, and then take it out on this person. That ain't good. If you paid people more to do that job, that'll knock out some of the worries that they got to have. You know what I'm saying? They still might have that, level of stress like, oh, yeah, my wife forgot to cook me dinner or forgot to include me dinner because I stayed out a little bit too late on the job. But that ain't going to be too much of a worry to bring it into the workspace the next day. So I'd have to agree with your unpopular opinion with that.
I got more if y'all want to go on some more. I got them all day. But that's a big one. That's one I went back and forth with people about, especially like me being in athletics for 8 years. I
had one contact in as a tight end player.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, there's times where I only had one contact. I lost my contact somewhere, and all I got is I have glasses and I have contacts, and I had one left, so I had to put on one contact to play, to, to play, football.
Son, I can't catch on the right, coach. Throw
Hey,
to the left.
Hey, and I think low key, I think that's the same game that I got like 10 tackles in. Like,
yeah. You was out there doing your thing, man. Oh my gosh, that was just funny.
I remember I think I was playing defensive end, and I was just like, it was against Genesee. I remember that, and it was 10. I got 10 tackles, and it was like in the newspaper and stuff. But and I had like a fumble. I had the fumble recovery in that game too. I almost scored. Like I got kind of close to scoring, but yeah. Me being having a history of like athletics and stuff for 8 years playing football, and then like if you count all my high school sports, I played basketball, I ran track. That was the main ones. I played 1 year basketball, I ran track all 4 years, football all 4 years. So me having that opinion, also coming from sports, I feel like it gives it some kind of credibility, because like most people that say stuff like that, they people that just didn't grow up in sports or whatever. But for me, it's just I never felt like that would have made any sense. I feel like yeah, it's just like it doesn't make sense that it's that vast of a difference in pay. And when it comes to like the jobs that they're doing, when you're looking at the job titles. So I got one more. I'll give y'all one more. This one might not land with everybody because I want to talk about Game of Thrones a little bit. Game of Thrones is not something that everybody watches. I understand that. Like, I'm a person, I watched all of it. I love it. I love Game of Thrones. That's one of my favorite shows. You ever watch Game of Thrones? I hear you saying the theme song.
He definitely has. He's one of the people that told me I need to watch. I have never seen an episode.
Okay, so this might be a perfect crowd, at least with us three. So I need some nothing else to drink. Let me see. But my unpopular opinion. Let me put the banner back up so I know when I'm editing this. My unpopular opinion, as it relates to Game of Thrones, is that Game of Thrones, and I got like layers to this, but I'm gonna just stay with this general statement. Game of Thrones and everything that the show represents and the show in its entirety is better than any installment of Marvel, any Marvel in-game, Infinity War, any individual installment from different characters, Thor, Incredible Hulk, any of them. I think Game of Thrones, what they deliver in that show is better than any of those. That's my unpopular opinion about it. Now, if we go deeper into that, like I said, I got layers to it.
You talking about better than all the Captain America movies, all the Iron Man movies, Spider-Man.
No, see, I might not make the statement of like better than all the individual movies, but definitely the Avengers movies, like because it's hard to deny like the success and stuff of the first Iron Man and how that kind of like really was like one of the starts of them coming back with Marvel and stuff. But like low key, Blade was the first, like one of the first Marvel movies that was like well received.
And Blade was fire.
But Iron Man, Captain America, they're all good. And that's not that unpopular opinion is not to say that I don't like those, like the Marvel stuff. I love it. That stuff is dope. But I think like me personally, I feel like that's why it's my opinion, my unpopular opinion, that I feel like specifically season 8, episode 3 of Game of Thrones, known as the Long Night, also known as the Battle of Winterfell. That episode in particular, just by itself, I felt like was better than Endgame because they came out the same weekend too. Like Game of Thrones came out on like I think a Sunday, and then Endgame had been out for that weekend. So it was like competing almost, but it was TV versus movies, and I saw both of them. I saw Endgame in IMAX 3D. I saw Game of Thrones at home, and I'm like, I enjoyed Game of Thrones, that one episode of Game of Thrones specifically, more than Endgame. And I said that back when when I was feeling like that originally, and people was like, "You crazy?" Like, Like,
I was just ready to ask, did you take any heat from that?
Oh yeah, people was like, you crazy. I was saying it like in not just on social media, but like in groups. Like I'm like, I'll just throw it out there. Like it's better than in-game. And at the time, in-game was just like everybody's talking about it and like crying. I was crying on this part and I was crying on that part. I'm like, I get like, see, I think people got suckered into that heartstring stuff. Like yeah, they kill out.
It's not all that good. That shit
Yeah,
wasn't like it wasn't pulling at my heart like that. Okay, Captain America. I mean, not Captain America. Iron
Iron
Man
Man.
died. Okay.
Yeah. Spoiler
Like,
alert. But if you ain't seen it now, it's been over a year.
yeah, if you ain't seen it
Yeah,
now,
it's way
you
over.
ain't gonna see it.
Yeah.
But Iron Man dies, and like in me knowing what I know about, like, the what's they call that stuff, pop culture, I know that Robert Downey Jr. is just like kind of signing off. This is in his term, his contract. So they just writing that into the story, like, oh, Iron Man died or whatever. But like, I know that it's like it's deals behind the scenes and stuff like that. It's not, you're not actually dying, really. Just he had to do something. Had to do something with him, so say he died.
That's like when they got rid of Inviv on Fresh Prince. Like,
Yeah.
we just gonna come in with the next episode with a light skinned woman and just gonna act like ain't nothing happened.
Yeah, and people like are like, they get really gravitated to these roles and these depictions of Iron Man and Robert Downey Jr. and he's being the best. Like, cause I don't know whoever is, if they ever try to bring Iron Man back, it either has to be him, Robert Downey Jr., or somebody that's like just as good as him, like a young version. But because like people are not going to take kindly to anybody else doing that role, like they don't with many other roles. But I think they went for the emotional. This is it. Like everybody knew that somebody was not going to make it out. That as character wise of that movie, and a lot of people suspected it was Iron Man, but it didn't emotionally. It didn't hit me like that. Like I think it for whatever reason it hit everybody else like that. I mean, that's what they were going for, I think, for sure. When they getting rid of a character, so to speak. But then also, now this is now let's get into like why I like Game of Thrones more. So I literally have written this entire thing out. Like I might read it to y'all, just to like be like, you know what I'm saying, thorough and concise as well. Let me see. Melody, let me see. I think this is it right here.
Let me check my Palm Pilot.
Okay, so I mean,
my Palm Pilot.
Okay, here it is. I'm literally reading this verbatim, so I want y'all to know that I wrote this out. I took the time to actually write this out, like how I'm reading it. Okay, here it is. The first part of it says, "I'm speaking out. Game of Thrones is better than any of the Marvel's Avengers installments. I'm talking the first Marvels, the Avengers, to Age of Ultron, to Infinity War, and yes, Endgame. I'm a pretty big Game of Thrones fan, if you haven't guessed, and I've also seen all of the Avengers movies I just named. And pound for pound, I personally feel like Game of Thrones takes it here. Like it's like takes it in this case. I know they're apples and oranges, with Game of Thrones being more drama suspense and the Avengers series obviously being more action thriller and arguably even comedy nowadays. Genres aside, though, I feel like Game of Thrones just does more for me. First of all, I was a late comer when it came to Game of Thrones. I think it was popular in college when I was in college, but I never got interested until like 2017. But from here on, I was hooked. I binged all 7 seasons at the time, because they ended up with 8, and watched the 8th season unfold each week. From the jump, this show establishes a very important concept. No, this is what I want to read this for y'all for. Very important concept. No one is safe. Game of Thrones became known for killing off characters that the audience cared about and assumed would surely be safe from demise. I feel like that brought a sense of stakes to the show that I honestly had never seen in a show before it that I've watched. Now, spoiler alert, Iron Man dying in Endgame is the first time that I can remember where a main character died. And I give kudos to Marvel for being willing to part ways with such an important character in exchange for telling a more compelling story and a heart-wrenching story. I can't think, though, of another time where major players were taken out in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Usually someone important will die and the remaining characters will find some roundabout way of bringing them back, which in my opinion lessens the stakes and takes away a ton of tension. So that's that last part about like when you feel like the characters that you're watching can actually die it's like, oh, I gotta watch because like they could actually die right now because this show is not afraid to kill off people. Like Game of Thrones season 1, you realize, oh snap, like a main character, like I was watching and rooting for this whole time. I thought he was gonna get saved at the last second. No, they took him out.
The king.
They do that a lot in anime too. A lot of characters that you think are gonna like develop and be powerful end up dying. You know what I'm saying, as a sacrifice or something like that.
So I'm gonna have to agree to a certain extent.
All right, you go ahead. I'm gonna have to let you talk, and then I'm gonna go off my video for a second, but I'm gonna have you talk. Go ahead.
Okay. To the extent as to, I think they went deeper in the story for Game of Thrones versus how they did in the comics. I don't read the comics. So I what I know is what I see in the movies. I know in the comics and in the books for the Game of Thrones that it's, of course, it's going to be more in depth to the things, because there was a couple of things that was supposed to be deeper in Game of Thrones, like the Red Wedding. I know was supposed to be like a couple episodes of it, but I will agree with Game of Thrones being better as to bringing people in more, drawing them in more into each individual story, and then go ahead and knocking them out, killing them off. That was pretty a strong vessel to open up because
you said what was it strong? What?
To bring people into the story, because I was saying that Game of Thrones was more in depth in the character building, in the story, and in the background of it versus how the Marvel movies were. Well, you only talked about the Avenger movies though, but they brought you in to it and then go ahead and kill them off. You know what I'm saying? Boom. So all that love, all that joy, even all that hatred that you probably have for that person, they're not even in existence anymore. So to that extent, I would have to agree with you. But I mean, looking at the action of it,
like now, see, like there's a lot. Action is few and far in between in Game of Thrones. That's why I said in my little thing that I was reading, like they're apples and oranges, because one is a TV show and one is a movie. So character development is a lot easier in a TV show because it runs for like forever. It's like if you put all the hours of episodes together, like it would be like watching a 15 30 hour movie if you put all 8 seasons of Game of Thrones together back to back, like one movie. So they get way more time to do that development. And also, like I said, they're different genres. So you got action and comedy and stuff. And because like a lot of comedy is in the superhero stuff now. But didn't used to be like that, but nowadays it's like that. But you got action, comedy, thrills, and all that kind of stuff. Versus you're not gonna have too much action, and you have suspense, you have drama, which you don't really have, and you do have some drama in the Marvel stuff, but you got more drama, more like deceit, more like backstabbing type stuff. A lot of like threats and ominous like speech. When it comes to Game of Thrones, so it's a whole different vibe. So that's why it's hard to compare them. But like this for me, if I had to pick one, I'm good on the Marvel stuff. I'll take Game of Thrones.
I didn't like how it ended.
Game of Thrones. Go ahead and be that's the main blemish on Game of Thrones is the ending. That's like the main like I can't even deny it. Yeah, I can't even deny that as a blemish. Being a fan, I can't even deny that being a blemish on the show's like legacy. I hate that too because like I feel like not as many people are like championing that show anymore because of how it ended. That was the last thing they left us with is like, here's some messed up couple episodes.
That's what I said. That's terrible. You can't ever leave on a bad note. You gotta leave like on a great. But to me, honestly, this might even be an unpopular opinion. I really don't like any of the like the Avengers movies. Like the last 2 were straight, but the first 3 were like corny kind of to me. Like especially Age of Ultron. Like I really didn't like that one. Like it was just like okay.
Yeah,
I did like Ultron, but I like dude as an actor.
the guy that
And
played
I
him.
like how, yeah, I like him as an actor. He played in The Office. He got this other TV show, Blacklist. Dope. Um, he acts like how he did in Ultron and every last one of the TV shows that I've seen him in. That little suave trying to run on a story, you know what I'm saying, kind of draw you in as to why he's doing it, and you know, then branch off talking about his whatever kids and bring it back talking about how a stone rumbled off of the top of the building on the floor. And it's I enjoyed that part of that movie because I just enjoy him as an actor.
Yeah.
If y'all ever seen Blacklist, is dope.
Yeah, but for me,
I have seen Blacklist.
For me, like I haven't seen Age of Ultron in a long time. Or the original Avengers. I do remember the original Avengers because it's like New York and the big old like thing going through the city and stuff, like tearing it up. Yeah. And all that. So I remember that. Age of Ultron, I kind of remember. Then you got the Civil Wars and that I think Civil War might have been when they kind of started getting good, like because they had some like real like plot, like it was like a Malcolm X versus a Martin Luther King Jr. Type of
it was. I feel like if you watched one of the Avengers movies, then you kind of watched all of them bitches. Like they all have like the same kind of like beginning to end like
formula.
Oh, something happened bad. We gotta go stop. We gotta team up. Let's stop this person. I mean, I guess
that's like every superhero movie.
Yeah, I mean, yes, granted, but it's like it don't happen in the same kind of fashion. I feel like that it's the Avengers movies are almost always lined up in the same exact way. Like, okay, it's like some shit happened with snakes on a motherfucking plane. That nigga Samuel L. It's something always happened with him first, and then like he like, okay, well, I got to get these people together. Then like they show like a backstory or somebody, you know, living peaceful or whatever. Then they snap back. Okay, we need you. We got to get the team together. Symbol, you know what I'm saying? It's like so. It's like the same kind of like format for every. I mean, and I do understand that almost every superhero movie kind of follows that same pattern, but they at least break it up a little bit, especially in like the series, the sets of stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that like once you start to do something the same way every time, you see like the audience starts to see the formula behind it. Like they're like, oh, this is what they did this around the same time they did last time. Like
and you can predict it. Like you can like, you know what I'm saying, that foreshadowing, like you don't even need, like I can be like, okay, because I already felt like that Captain America was gonna die. Like I peeped that like before.
Come on, Iron Man?
Or Iron Man, I'm sorry. I keep saying Captain America.
I mean, he did die too.
That nigga Tony, huh?
Well, he didn't die. Did he die? No, he just got old.
Yeah, Captain America. He decided to stay in that like that era
time. Yeah. Fucking greedy. Excuse my language.
Dang, I should have been really saying excuse me. I've been cussing at the store.
Hey, it is what it. That's one other thing. So like I don't care. Like I don't care. Like cuss or not cuss or whatever. Like that's why like Q is he preaches and everything, and like I want to bring anybody on here and they however you want to talk, however you want to be, whatever you want to be doing while we on here you're entitled to do it, and I'm not gonna stop anybody from doing anything. I'm not censoring nobody. This is not a clean podcast at all. So
okay. Since one half of the host said that, what does the other half of the host say?
Oh, nigga, I don't care. I've been cussing.
You know, I mean, like just in case I get invited again. You know,
like how can I be a hypocrite to be like, no, y'all can't. I'm the only one. Do you? I say be free, man.
That's how I wanted to approach it. Like like I said, be free. Like whatever you would normally be doing, I want to catch everybody in their natural element. I think that like as soon as we start trying to look like each other and act like each other, then we lose ourselves. We lose our own like kind of individual identity, or like we kind of step outside of it at least for a minute while we doing whatever we're doing, and then once we get off the camera, then we go back to being ourselves. I want to be ourselves on camera, so you know I don't care what I'm not telling nobody to do nothing that they not already doing. But I mean, I think we've been going for a while. Like it's gonna be probably over 2 hours. When I edit it down. So
that boy is reaching that 3 mark.
Yeah, but it's been good dope. Like that, I've laughed the hardest that I have in any of these episodes.
Yeah, man, this was definitely like a good one. I think I had a good couple of like tear jerkers and like really like a good knee slapping laughs.
Yeah, the
especially when that nigga was talking about the cereal. I was my hand over.
That's hilarious.
That nigga lying, man.
If you messing with something flaky like Frosted Flakes or something like that, where like the flakes kind of tend to make the cereal unlevel, especially when you pouring that milk in there, and the boys they'll spill out a little bit on you.
Yeah, it was just fun. The image of it, like,
but I saw it instantly.
But
and I saw as he was pouring the milk in the bowl, the cereal rising up.
Yeah,
man, you got to, man.
Like,
you got to.
This is well thought out. I was like, this is very calculated.
Extremely calculated.
But this has been another episode of the Stimulus Podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in. Episode 6. We are available everywhere, pretty much anywhere podcasts are available, including YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and pretty much every podcast app that is out there, even Google Podcasts and everything. So if y'all like what we're doing and like the conversation and episodes, like, subscribe, and comment and all that kind of stuff that y'all hear everybody say that's a YouTuber or whatever now.
Right, share it with your mama and your sisters and your granny and all of them.
Right. And we also have hashtag Stimulus Gaming. We got gaming videos up on the channel on YouTube. You can check those out. We post at least once a week or once every other week or so, week and a half. Usually something go up. But we doing that too. So we trying to have something for everybody. But if y'all like what we're doing, like I said, you can also donate. If you want to donate to our Cash App financially, you can go to $the Stimulus Podcast and donate whatever you want to donate or whatever. But that money does go toward helping us make the podcast better. But like I said, thank you for tuning in. We all gonna sign off. But this has been episode 6.
Appreciate you coming, bro, too, for sure.
Right.
Yeah. We got that fire. We got that fire.
Yeah. You think you louder than me? Fire.
Yeah. This has been the reunion of the Fire Boys. I think that's what we was called. Them Fire Boys or something like that.
He was extra ratchet.
All three of us was rappers at one point, so to speak. We was making actual, like, I would make a beat and then we would just put verses on. We did like parody stuff too, like the Chubby Chaser and what else? Chubby Chaser is hilarious too. Like I listen to that like every once in a while.
I think that's the best hit. I think we still need to do like a video or something to that.
Yeah, for sure.
Like the clumps and like how like
I think because that was like we was just playing around, but like listening to it now, it's still hilarious. So
it is. Yeah.
But it's been dope. Oh, he didn't disappear. But I guess Plies got to him.
Like, oh, you want to talk about me? Get your shit up, boy.
But this has been. I don't know if he's gonna come back or not. But I'm just go ahead and do the outro. So, like I said, this my name is Ron Shields. I'm co-host of the Stimulus Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Once again. Yeah, do you want to do any social media shout out plugs or whatever?
Oh yeah. Follow me on Vision the Great, Instagram, Snapchat, and Vision Hunter everywhere else. Instagram, YouTube, all of that. Just look out for my works in the coming Stimulus Podcast. I'm dropping some music as well. Like I'm
gonna start making banners too with that stuff on it, like the at whatever that I can put on the screen. But so thank you once again for tuning in. This has been a Stimulus Podcast, and that's it.
Thank you.
All right. So,